Good evening, everybody. We're back for one final night of the Boost Mobile Supercars E-Series. My name's Chad Neylon. It's going to be a fantastic way to wrap up 2018 ahead of the actual last round of the Virgin Australia Supercars Championship this week. Back on the desk once again. He was so much fun at round two. We've decided to have him back. We've got Will Brown from Eggleston Motorsport and Erebus as well back on the desk. Yep. Good to have you back here, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for asking me back, guys. Good fun first time.
Hysterics, we missed this guy at round number two.
Yeah, no, we did. No, he had a good time round number two. And we thought, why not bring him back for the championship to enjoy this once again. You missed out last week because last week we had an absolute baller of a track on Rio, which doesn't exist, but people were flying left, right, and centre. So I'm hoping this week we kind of get a bit of a semblance of what we saw then. We
had you here, obviously, for round number two. What did you make of your first time here?
Yeah, that was cool. I didn't expect the racing to be as tight on the first one. That was a huge surprise to me, but had good fun. Got to verse you guys before and got towed up then, but that's all right.
Have you been up to much since you were here last? Obviously, but not too much racing.
No, not a lot. Just been at home.
Haven't been to the beach at all lately or anything like that?
I may have gone to Bondi yesterday. Yeah.
Is that so?
Really? Yeah.
I think we might have a sneak peek of Will actually. This was yesterday.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
That is actually Will Brown, ladies and gentlemen. He's got the Nike slip-ons. He's got the budgie smugglers.
Yeah.
What's going on with the footwear?
Oh, that's actually my normal footwear, not going to lie. That wasn't even bought as a joke.
Oh, boy. I'm glad we don't see the front in that picture as well.
I have got it if you want to see it.
You know what? Let's pass on that one. So, very, very special guest. Good to have him back here. I don't know about his choice in attire for a quick swim down to Bondi. Clearly not a lot of beaches out his way in Toowoomba, but great to have him back here for the final night. It's the Champions League. If you missed last week, the championship was wrapped up. Matty Bink, Mad Racer 38, got the job done, and this is how he did it. Round 5, the penultimate round of the 2018 Boost Mobile Supercars E-Series. And we hit the Nürburgring, Rio de Janeiro and Yas Marina. All eyes were on Mad Racer 38 as he looked to seal the deal on the 2018 title. Race 13, off the front row, XE Mr. Bucket and Ultimate Age 05 battled hard through the opening corners until controversy struck. Ultimate Age 05 tagged the back of XE Mr. Bucket, pushing him off the circuit. Mad Racer, who was tucked into third, sliced past to take the lead of the race. Ultimate Age and Mad Racer pitted early, leaving XE Mr. Bucket on the circuit to run long. As the pit stop cycle played it out, it was Mad Racer who emerged as the leader. Ultimate Age and XE Mr. Bucket again locked behind in battle. That's the way it would stay to the finish as our championship leader took his 7th win of the season. Race 14, a wild circuit based on the streets of Rio de Janeiro. From the front in the reverse grid race, Holden 96 led early but dropped back behind Haro 5 after clipping a wall. As Haro 5 pushed on, the rest of the field were battling away behind. Easily the most bruising race of the series. Eyes were on Mad Racer 38 as he picked his way through the pack. On the final lap, the battles were still raging on, but out in front, Haro 5 held on to take his 2nd win of the series. Race 15 at Yas Marina, and Mad Racer had one hand on the title. A win for him would mean Ultimate Age 05 had to finish 2nd to keep the series alive. It was a poor start from Ultimate Age 05 that gave Mad Racer an opening, and he didn't need any further invitation, taking the lead on lap 1. From there it was pure chaos as Haro 5, Ultimate Age and Semper tripped over each other on multiple occasions. Ultimate Age dropped to the rear of the field, huge blow for his title hopes. Mad Racer pitted with clean air and found it again on the rejoin. Desperation was kicking in for Ultimate Age as he tried to get back up into 2nd to keep the title alive. Skirmishes with Haro 5 and Superman slowed down his charge, along with surprise pace from Holden 96, who rejoined ahead of him after taking his pit stop. Ultimate Age was stuck in 4th as Mad Racer 38 crossed the line for his 8th win of the season, and with a huge gap in the points, he secured the 2018 Boost Mobile Supercars E-Series title with a round to spare. So we know who the champion for 2018 is going to be, but there's still a few scores to settle, particularly that fight for 2nd between Ultimate Age and Semper. That has been going on for Well, pretty much since the very first race, Hysterics, and it's going to be pretty tight between those two tonight.
It's been a couple of weeks at least that they've been on each other's tails, excuse me. For Semper, he was taking charge. He was taking that second position, and it looked like he was just going to stamp his way ahead. But Ultimate Age coming through from last week. This is his chance to make second. Now, you can't get first. That's off the table, but $1,400 worth is second, and it's a big jump to third, which is only $850. So screw that. Take second. That's what
money
you want.
up for grabs here, Will. You know the battle I like? The battle between 7th and 8th.
Yeah,
it's been on between these two as well.
Only 4 points. It's very easy in qualifying. Like I don't know what the point difference is, but I'm sure it'll be a fair bit. So if one finishes 5th and one 8th, I'm sure it'll they'll get that gap.
Yeah. There's 2 points between last and I think 7th is 4th or 6 points there. So there's so many opportunities for someone like TDI Zulz to climb up. But that battle there, Chad, I'm looking forward to it because TDI Zulz, he should have had at least one podium finish. He disconnected coming across the finishing line just before the finish line.
It was brutal. It was one of the harshest things I've seen.
Is that like a DNF? Or?
It's exactly what it was. No
So
points because he crossed the finish line, or was about to cross the finish line just when he disconnected.
Is that when you
going to get
yell
a
at
podium.
Mum and say, get off the phone?
It was similar to what happened to you at Newcastle last year. You were in for a good result, had it absolutely taken away. So we've had a run on tonight's tracks. One very familiar track which we had at round 1, but let's check out what we have coming up tonight for our champions leg. The championship may be already decided, but we've got some cool tracks to sort out the rest of the point score. Suzuka are off to Japan for the first race. A couple of Formula 1 tracks on the schedule tonight. This one, very difficult.
Oh, it's a really long track, 5.8 kilometres, like pretty much Bathurst spec, and so many corners on it. So no, very, very long track.
I was struggling on this when driver, at least I was, to start things off.
Well, everyone was struggling with Suzuka tonight when we had a bit of a practice on it because oversteer, just trying to get the power down. Because it's a Honda test circuit, it's pretty much made for motorbikes, so to actually lay the power down is very difficult.
Yeah, it was hard here. There seems to be a fair few off-camber, sort of weird, long loaded corners, and it seems hard on the game to get the power down. Like you're saying, we're just drifting everywhere.
With
so
sideways, every corner.
I don't know how these guys do it.
So that's the first track tonight, Suzuka. They'll be qualifying their 9-lap race. The second one, another familiar track, and as you can see on the grid, another one not too strange for motorcycle racing as well. It's Monza. We're up in the north of Italy, north of Milan. What a cool track this is. Lots of history. Opened in the 20s. It's been a part of the Formula 1 calendar since the 50s.
It really is a cool track. Not as many corners, but I'm looking forward to turn 1. That turn 1 2 chicane. We'll see a bit of action down there.
The second chicane, you can see it at the very top of that map. Hysterics, not your best corner.
No, all right. Well, that's fair enough. I mean, I ran into the tyre wall 3 out of 3 times. We only did 3 laps, but I managed to fight it each and every time, unfortunately. But look, I'm sure these guys will navigate that better than I did, at the very least. And I think it will provide a bit of a turn of interest here, because Monza will be the point where we go, all right, is Semper performing? Is Ultimate Age performing? This second map is kind of going to be the key, because we go back to Bathurst then, and if Ultimate Age is a lead, I feel like he'll secure second due to his qualifying time at the start. Yeah, reverse grid race. I think that's going to be the pick of the bunch tonight, Monza. Like you mentioned, we're back at Bathurst for the third and final race. And when we raced there early this year, it was really cool. Like you mentioned, Ultimate Age 05 does go very well here. So does Har 05, but it was Matty Bank who picked up the race there at round 1 when we had our one race at Bathurst. And this is a track that you know quite well, Will.
Yeah, I've done a couple of laps around here, and we didn't get to do it then. But if I did a lap round here on the Xbox without hitting the wall, I'd be pretty proud. So, no, it'd be cool to watch these guys go around. Like you say, I've done a lot of laps, and it's a difficult track, so it'll be pretty cool to watch. You've picked up wins in the Bathurst 12-hour in your class there. You've also raced Super 2 there and had your first actual start in the Bathurst 1000 this year. How was that? Oh, it was pretty cool. As 2 rookies, starting with Erebus Motorsport was amazing. Anton qualified us in the shootout on 3rd, which was, that was really cool, just watching that. But no, we had an awesome year. Didn't get the result we wanted, but we had a ball doing it. Yeah, it's pretty much what any race driver plans their whole career, just to try and get to that moment to, at least in this country, start at Mount Panorama, which is something that Will got to do this year. Let's check out a bit of a closer look at Suzuka, our first track of the night. Like we mentioned, it's famous for Formula 1 racing these days, but has been used for motorcycle racing in the past. But did you know it also hosted a couple of NASCAR events? Oh, yeah? 1996 and 97. Most of the American tour went over there. Guys like Jeff Gordon and the likes had a bit of a run around here. I don't think it was on the full GP circuit, but still pretty cool. So it starts with the opening curves and a couple of left-right bends as you start to climb the hill. And this is what we're talking about. Laying the power down through these corners, very difficult. Yeah, it was super difficult. They seem a little bit off-cambered, and you've got to set yourself up for the next one. But oversteer was our biggest thing. We seem to lose it everywhere. So you start climbing again through the left. This is the Dunlop curve, appropriate for a supercar, up to
This double right-hander, which can easily catch you out in the opening lap of the race, but it is half a chance, potentially, once the Dunlop curb eventually finishes, to get the job done down the inside there. So maybe half a braking opportunity and a passing opportunity. But the big one's probably coming up at the hairpin, which is on the other side of the bridge. Not too many tracks have a bit of a figure eight styling.
Just look at that. And also you cross back over, so that's pretty cool. But like you say, coming back down into the hairpin here, that's going to be a huge opportunity to make passes. Any braking zones that are quite long, you can get up the inside. So coming out of there, you've got the long right down to Spoon Curve. And, you know, not much passing will be done around there. But also, again, as we saw, I think I passed you down into here to tell you the truth. But,
you did, actually. I was on the brakes a bit
Another
early.
passing opportunity down into the left. The first part of, it's one corner, but, you know, there's a couple of apexes around there. It's a double apex to cut back onto the long back straight.
And it just goes on and on and on, like a lot of the lefts here. You can imagine how much work the right front tyre would do in a supercar, sort of Phillip Island-esque. Big run, best corner of the track coming up. It's almost flat out in a sports car and definitely maybe flat out in a Formula One car, but as I found out today, not in a supercar.
No.
It's probably fifth gear for these guys tonight. We'll wait and see what we've got headed our way in qualifying, but it's a big lap, over 2 minutes. Big stop to finish, best passing opportunity into the Casio chicane. Famous for what happened with Etten Centre and Alain Prost back in the day. And then that run onto the front straight and complete a lap. We're qualifying here tonight and racing. Pit entrances on the right-hand side for when we get into it. Back onto the start-finish line. It's a pretty grueling lap, Suzuka. And how will they go tonight handling this place? They've had all week to practice. We've seen typically they like to try and do as many laps as they can in the week. And we are officially off and running with qualifying.
Well, that triangle, that's going to be the biggest pain in their sides, I'm sure. It was the biggest pain in my side, and I didn't ever want to look at it again.
Chicanes aren't really your thing, are they?
No, look, obviously...
You're more of a fast corner,
man. You can tell I'm not a driver. I mean, I do drive, but I tell you what, you know, out on Pennant Hills Road, it's all right, it's just straight. You know, all you have to worry about is the truck overtaking you, so... I think I've got a long way to go, but not like these drivers here. Mad Racer securing it last week. For him today, it's just going to be... You know, sit back, relax. Let's just try and get a couple of firsts on the board. Let's just try and lead and disrupt the flow of the standings. This guy's been smooth. He's been in control, and I'm sure today for him will be a great way to finish out. Yeah, I agree. I think it's all about picking up some last-minute race wins for him this year. Ultimate Age 05 fighting for second in this championship. With Semper, they have been very evenly poised, but Ultimate Age 05, just a few more podiums along his way so far for 2018. 10 out of the 15 races he's finished inside the top 3.
The good thing for Mad Racer is he's got no pressure at all. He's already wrapped up the championship. He just goes out there and does whatever he wants. It doesn't matter where he finishes. So it'd be interesting.
I mean, if he wanted to, he could just go head first, maybe T-bone a couple of races.
Down into turn 1.
Hopefully he doesn't, you know.
Hopefully he doesn't decide to do that.
I'm sure there's something in the terms and conditions that say you can't just go out.
Might be able to give him a few championship points. Championship points penalty. But no, that'll be cool to see how he takes that. If he, you know, you wouldn't think he'd take it easy. He'd, you know, it doesn't matter what happens to him. So will be good to watch. Haro 5. It's been a tough run. I don't think he was overly impressed with the time penalty that he received for Abu Dhabi either last week. It was a tough call. It's one of those things, isn't it? As Semper runs wide down there on his hot lap at turn 1, so this lap's pretty much out the window. Haro 5 moves through Semper, giving him the room down there. It's one of those things where with sport, if you break the rules, it's only a matter of if it's seen. And unfortunately, on his occasion, it was seen, so he got pinged. That's right. But for us, I guess, we can hand in penalties and show vision. But on this, it's only what you can see. So so it's a bit. I think he was a little bit disappointed in that. But you know, I guess if you do the crime, you've got to do the time. Have you ever had a moment where you've thought, oh, I'm definitely going to get penalised for that, and just no one saw it? I've had a few moments that I've definitely thought I was going to get penalised and got penalised, but I'm not sure if I've ever got away with it. Actually, no, I have before. Speeding in pit lane, it happened recently. Actually, I went, I'm going to get a penalty for that. Didn't get one, so it was actually halfway down pit lane. Instead of pressing my lights, I pressed my. It wasn't during a race. Yeah. It was in practice. I was pretty happy. So you get away with that one. Yeah, pretty. Don't do that twice. That's I know. Not going to make that mistake twice. Holden 96 had a pretty good year, coming off the back of a few podiums around the halfway point of the season. He's finished third on 3 occasions and hasn't quite picked up a race win so far. But he and XE Mr. Bucket have been sort of the fringe guys, I'd say, Hysterics, those couple of drivers that haven't picked up race wins but are always there fighting for podiums. Yeah, look, it's still important because, you know, at that point, you're still fighting for money, whether it's a Harvey Norman gift voucher or it's a bit of cash on the line. Mr. Bucket, though, you know, had a better return, and that's what's stopping Holden 96 at the moment. Holden 96 had
a couple of podiums. He had opportunities to kind of take over Mr. Bucket, but unfortunately, Mr. Bucket's been more consistent the past couple of weeks, so standing in his way, it's going to be a little bit difficult. Depends on his results today. Yeah,
Mr. Bucket picked up his first pole award last week when he qualified first at the Nürburgring. Superman and TDI Zulz are the two drivers fighting for this last spot in the championship, or second last spot in the championship. We mentioned TDI Zulz and the bad luck that he's had, but Superman was really quick last week, just didn't get the results he probably deserved.
I think looking up there, I actually saw TDI Zulz is on, oh no, Mad Racer now. Mad Racer's put in a mega lap time.
208.5s at the moment. Gee, look how close they are as well. Ultimate Age and Mad Racer right there with one another at the moment. So if you're new to this, it is a little bit confusing because, yes, it's qualifying, but it's actually a race. And at the end of the qualifying session, we'll show the race results, pick out the fastest lap times. That's what sets the grid for race number 1 tonight. Race 2 is reverse grid. We do like the reverse grid race because it often throws up a little bit of chaos. Yep. And then race 3, similar to what Will has in Super 2 on the 3-race format, a combination of the points sets the grid for the last race. Race 3, every week, has been won by Matt Pink, Mad Racer 38. He is the race 3 specialist, and he'll be looking to finish his season in style tonight like that.
We did say second week I was here, and he said, you know, consistency, if he can keep it consistent, he'll do a good job, and he's won it with a round to go, so that's pretty good.
Ultimate Age 05 has the fastest lap time at the moment. He's coming off a string of second place qualifying performances. Out of the 5 qualifiers we've had so far, he's finished second, fourth, second. Hasn't got a pole yet, but has been on the front row for the last 3 qualifying sessions. Is this going to be his first pole position?
It's about time. Surely it ends on Bathurst. Like, he was the fastest qualifier when we started off the E-Series. He was the best, sitting up there with Haro 05. You're hoping for his sake to beat Semper. It'll probably come down to Bathurst, and that'll probably be the race that he's feeling most confident about. So
I really hope for his sake he doesn't qualify on pole, because if anyone knows anything about Bathurst, you never win off pole.
Yes, very, very true.
That seems to be the thing lately.
Out of the 5 rounds we've had so far this season, no one has won race 1 from pole.
Oh, really?
As well. So whoever's gone on to get the pole award in the opening part of the night hasn't gone on to win race 1. So it's something of a poison chalice. R05 looking quick here, about to complete a lap. Can he get back into the 205s? That's that oversteer we were talking about.
Yep.
Try and lay down that power. A lot of people watching online right now. We're streaming through multiple sources. Both Will and I have been checking out the Supercars Facebook live stream, following along the comments there. So if you've got any questions for Will, we'll try and fire them through this way. For you guys watching online, a lot of people asking, what game is this? This is Forza Motorsport 7. You're watching the Boost Mobile Supercars E-Series qualifying for the final night of the championship. And this guy on screen, Matt Bink, Mad Racer 38, has already wrapped up the title, but there's still plenty of reasons to watch. None other than our special guest host tonight, Will Brown. So send us a few questions if you're watching.
207 on Mad Racer. Boy, this man can drive. I think it's just great that he has the best of both worlds. You know, driving for XL as well as, you know, being the champion of the E-Series. It's not a bad way to go ending the year. And I think we're talking downstairs just to pull out a couple of points. You know, there's he's a bit of a champion. He's a nice guy. And we've interviewed him so many times. We've talked to him over the phone so many times. And I'm sure later tonight, he's hoping we'll chat to him again. Because remember last week, Chad, we talked to him, we called him up and we said, you know, how's it feel to be the champion? He goes,
what do you mean?
Oh, what do you mean? Yeah, what do you mean?
What do you mean?
He'd won it.
He didn't know.
He didn't realise he'd wrapped up the championship.
He's like, oh, that's all right.
Oh, that's
He's
great.
also coming to the gala next week.
Yes, well, maybe, yeah.
So that'll be cool to meet him there. And
special prize.
Like we were saying, maybe we should chuck his XL in the foyer instead of the championship winner.
I hope he brings his dancing shoes, because it's going to be a big night and a big way to wrap up the championship. And he might just finish it off here with his maiden pole award, because he currently is the only driver in the 207s. Is he about to pick up his first pole position of the year? And you'd have to say, Hysterics, that'd go against the trend, because he hasn't qualified higher than 5th all year.
No, he hasn't. He climbs up, though. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where he finishes or where he qualifies. He's always able to climb through. It's the same with this guy right here. Semper trying to challenge for that second position. If you knock down Mad Racer, you pick up a first. You have to think that that might just be enough here today, the way things are going.
Not a huge amount of questions coming on the Supercars Facebook page right now, but one in particular has come in, and I think this one's specifically for you, Will. It just says from Zane, can I have your budgie smugglers?
Yeah,
if you missed the start of the show.
Yeah, I reckon I could hand them on. I'm heading up to Newcastle tomorrow, so I might need some Newcastle ones and do a photo shoot up there, I reckon.
Can you wear them in the car? Would that qualify as legal underwear? And
I could probably wear them underneath, and if we get a win, I might be able to get them out. We'll see.
All right, you've heard it here. That's an absolute exclusive. Checkered flag is out. And at the moment, the quickest lap time at 2:07.9. We'll wait and see if anyone managed to sneak it in. So we've got the Facebook live stream happening here as well. We're also going out via Twitch and a whole range of other places. So thanks for joining us for the final night. We've got Will Brown from Erebus Motorsport and also Eggleston. He's got the Eggleston shirt on tonight because that's who he's racing for at Newcastle this week. And as always, Hysterics joining the fun. For the last night of the year, it's been such a cool season so far.
So I was just thinking, I'm like, at least he's wearing pants here today. That's all that
you can't see it from there, but he's actually got the budgie smugglers on right now.
It'd be a great way to wrap out the E-Series for the final week. But yeah, Chad, it's the last week. It's a little bit sad, but it's also pretty exciting. The Champions League's going to show up, I think, massively. And I'm kind of concerned about Semper and Ultimate Age. I reckon there's going to be a bit of rivalry there. I reckon it's going to get brutal in the first lap coming through.
The aggression's gone up week on week.
Oh, yeah.
From round one.
They know what they can get away with now. We'll remember week 2, it was like, there's
being nice to each other. That doesn't exist anymore.
The racing was really good week 2, though. Like I say, when I came down, I didn't know what to expect. Hadn't watched the first week, but it was really good. So it'll be interesting to see this week the difference compared to a few weeks of racing to see how much harder they do race.
Well, here you go. The results are in, and at 2:07.8, the quickest lap time, Mad Racer 38 has waited all season to pick up his first pole award of the year. He gets one in round 8. That means Semper picks up the most pole awards for the season with 2. He picked up the poles in round 1 and 2 and goes on to hold on to that little record. So it'll be Mad Racer from Ultimate Age, and unless I'm very much mistaken, TDI Zulz will be starting 3rd. So the man fighting for this battle between 7th and 8th in the championship. And his biggest rival, Superman, will be off the back. So a chance here for the boy from Tassie to sneak through and get some points.
All he needs to do. And mind you, we haven't had a phone call from him yet. So, I'm looking forward to hopefully chatting to TDI Zulz. This gives him a chance, especially over Superman. That battle for 7th and 8th is a bit of bang for the buck as well.
Very, very cool. So Mad Racer 38 will be starting tonight from pole position. And behind him, Ultimate Age 05 will be right there trying to fight for 2nd in the points. We haven't seen him start off the front row in a race 1 yet. Now, remember we said earlier that no one has won the first race of the night from pole. If anyone's bound to do it or break that record, you'd have to say, Hysterics, it might just be Mad Racer.
Again, I mean, what do you do? He's already got the points. What does it matter? Like, he's just taking it away from other people. I don't know how clean he's going to look here, but for the qualifying lap, for him to get the fastest qualifying lap out of anyone for the first time ever on the final week, well, people are going to be going, that's a bit scary.
Right, let's get Will's input on the championship scenarios here coming up to the last round. We've been talking about this battle between 7th and 8th. Well, let's check out that sort of rivalry that we've got going on right now. Zach Donaldson, Superman, versus Jono Burrows, the man from Tassie. Best finish of 5th and 4th each. They just have been floating around the bottom. Will, what's it going to take John Burrows to get himself up from 8th tonight?
Yeah, well, was it TDI Zulz that qualified on 3rd then?
Yep.
Yeah, so for him to qualify up there, that's a fair gap. Superman is obviously off the back. So, for that first race, it's a fair points gap. If he finishes 3rd and Superman finishes 8th, that's going to boost him up in the championship a fair way and give him a bit of leeway for the next 2 races because, as we always see, you can qualify different at the next 2.
Yeah, it just needs one good result, I think, and that might be enough to get him those points that he needs. Just 4 points, the difference.
It's not enough.
Yeah.
It's not enough to make this any less close than it is. It's going to be tight. And it's going to come down to that last race.
All right, let's move it further up the order. Check out our 2nd championship battle of the night. And this is one to watch out for. Jacob Harvey, who we had in as an almost sure thing for the championship, is fighting tonight with the potential to finish 5th in the points to something of a relative newcomer. And the man who's in form, XC Mr. Bucket. 3 podiums in a row. You can see that in the last 4 races. 3rd, 2nd. He is in form.
Yeah, I'm hoping Haro 05 actually gets it with his hat. But
I was about to say, who are you ready
I'm a bit
for
biased here, so I might not look at the statistics, but we'll see. No, but for them, it's just going to be about keeping it consistent, staying up the front, and it'll be interesting because Mad Racer might jump in on this and jazz it up a bit. He's obviously not racing for points, so if he gets in between them, it'll be cool to watch.
It's all about setting records now for Mad Racer. Haro 5, 2 race wins. One of them was Rio, the craziness of Rio. He does go well at Bathurst. We did see him pick up the inaugural championship win at Bathurst last year when we were racing in the Harvey Norman Xbox Challenge there. Average finish of 4th. He just needs to get some podiums and maybe another race win tonight, guys, to sort that one out. The biggest battle, though, probably has to be the battle for 2nd. And it's between Adrian Yalpi and Andrew Dyson, who does quite a bit of drifting in his spare time.
Yeah.
We're doing quite a bit of drifting when we're trying to play the game earlier. Not
intentionally.
Not intentionally, but it's just bloody hard.
A lot of spinning out.
Yeah. Last 4 races, the form guide sits with Yalpi.
Well, boy, oh boy, though. This is a larger gap. And you can see why, because these guys finish top of the table or they finish in the middle of the pack. And the gap between points, first 20, second is 16. So anywhere between there, Ultimate Age could drop. Semper could drop as well. I've been talking up his beard each and every week. I know last week he kind of acknowledged. He's like, oh, thanks for... He's very proud of the thing as well.
Is he?
Much like his racing, and I'm sure when he's drifting as well, he keeps that thing on a tight check.
Now, if you go back 2 weeks ago, the second race of the American leg, Andrew Dyson picked up second that night. So if he can do that again tonight, I think it might be enough to steal him second in the points. But the big thing, like you mentioned earlier, Jake, the last race tonight's Bathurst, I really think that's going to play into the hands of Adrian Yalpi, who was the quickest driver at Bathurst in our qualifying run. So,
oh, yeah, surely. He and Haro 05 will have the contention there, the 2 fastest qualifying laps by milliseconds. That's all that was separating them. And Semper was, I think, down the chart a little bit, maybe 4th or 5th towards qualifying. So if there's any weakness for him, it's definitely going to come towards Bathurst. But having said that as well, I just don't know what to expect on the Champions League. We've got 2 tracks that these guys, I assume, will spin out on at least one. And I'm hoping for. I like carnage.
Bit of chaos.
Yeah, I
and
hope so.
The aggression's gone up a massive amount in the last couple of races. You have been a champion of both the Australian Formula 4 series and also the Toyota 86 Racing Series. What is it like when you go into that last championship showdown like we got tonight?
Yeah, it is tough. The lucky thing for me is that it didn't come down to the last race for me. I finished it on Saturday, so for both of them. So I was lucky. But
so you're the mad racer of this.
Yeah,
I was lucky enough to do the mad racer because the last race, the pressure is immense. So no, for these guys, but second, third, it's going to come down to that. Mad race is cleared out, but I think we saw it last year in the Supercars Championship, didn't we? Coming down to the last race, so it's always a lot of pressure.
All right. So how do you think this is going to play out tonight, guys? First race, Suzuka.
Oh. Well, I can't compare it to anything unless it's me racing, and it was just crap. So, to be quite honest, I think Suzuka will be the one that'll test them. Some of those tight turns, some of the way this track flows as well is just so dangerously around some of those curves to start things off. I feel like if there's going to be carnage, it's definitely on this one, because when we move forward, when we go to Monza, it feels a bit more straight and a bit more flowing. This one here, maybe one of our hardest and different to the flow of events from previous weeks where we're starting with the easy ones, moving towards some of the dangerous circuits. Yeah, this is going to be a tough one tonight. Suzuka is the circuit. That's where we're going to be starting our first race of the night. Questions still flowing in online. One punter is going to be up at Newcastle this week cheering you on. Wants to know, are you having a signing session this weekend, Will? You're going to be signing autographs?
I believe we are, actually, on Friday. I'm not sure what time. I think it's about 12 o'clock. Yeah, so
all right.
Friday.
So there you go.
Around?
If you're in Newcastle, come on down and meet Will on Friday and grab a bit of an autograph. It's going to be a pretty hectic last round of... We've been talking about Supercars finale, but the Super 2 finale is also pretty exciting. Yeah,
but I'm not in it, which is a bit disappointing. Not in the championship hunt, but that's all right. No, it's going to be cool. Pulled Umbrella, obviously, my teammate, and there's 3 of them, so Gary Jacobson and Chris Pither, so it will be cool to watch.
And hopefully we get some of those Newcastle budgie smugglers signed as well. So
Signed
if anyone wants to bring their
Bring
budgie smugglers down, also get Erebus Motorsport.
Yeah,
maybe that would be a
if
good
I win
brand
either
design.
day, meet me down at the beach, straight after it. I'll be in my budgies going for a swim.
Might even
that's
give you
for sure.
sandals as well.
Yeah.
I could, if any team in pit lane was going to actually do celebratory budgie smugglers, I can actually see the folks at Erebus getting around that. So
yeah, I could,
that could be a
scary
good look.
sight. I'm thinking about a few of them in it, and mine wasn't pretty, let alone a few of them.
All right, let's turn our attention to what we've got coming up tonight. We've got this first race at Suzuka, and this is how they'll line up. 3 races to go. Your champ is off the pole. He's already got it signed, sealed, delivered. But the fight for second in the championship is alive between Ultimate Age, who's going off the front row. Again, second. That's, 4 or 5 in a row that he's qualified second. TD Azul's fighting for 7th in the championship. He'll be starting 3rd. Haro 5, he's got a championship fight on his hands between he and XC Mr. Bucket. So a lot to watch out for there. And then you've got Semper, who is fighting with Ultimate Age for 2nd. And the poor guy, Superman, not his thing qualifying. I think that is 5 in a row now that he's qualified 8th. So he's got some work to do here.
Oh, he does. And it's just been... I love the story between 7th and 8th. And I love how Superman, he's been pretty consistent down in that lower position, but he's always been trying to challenge. He's always been trying to play the aggressive part. For Holden 96, same question, but he he rose above, and you're left with TDI Zulz, you're left with Superman, you're hoping that the 7th versus 8th delivers. I'm hoping that the 2nd versus 3rd delivers here on Suzuka.
So many questions. Let's answer them all as we go racing. Will Brown, our special guest in the studio, the final night of the Boost Mobile Supercars E-Series. It's been 6 big weeks. We've had 15 big races, and the last 3 are coming up tonight. And would you believe it? Our champ is the leader as we go working our way up through the S-curves.
Yeah, no, Mad Race has done an awesome job. He's got a good start, and coming up through here, as we saw, it's tough through here. So for these guys to keep it off each other and not be touching is a really good job. But we got a
who was that with a big slide? I think it was Haro 5. The rear end of that car cracked properly sideways. TDI Zulz slots himself into 3rd. That's big for the championship picture. Can he stay there and pick up his first podium of the year? The speed on the opening lap, the best we've seen from him all season.
Definitely, Ultimate Age is just looking at getting a good drive out of here, because we're coming down into the hairpin, which, as we said, will be the passing opportunity. A little bit of rubbing, which is always good fun. Yep.
Haro 5 getting a bit of a hurry up here from Exy, Mr. Bucket, up towards the hairpin that Will was talking about. Heavy braking zone. The front 3 starting to break away. Ultimate Age braking traction as he turned the rear tyres. From this point, it's flat out all the way to the spoon curve.
Semper moved up as well into that 4th position, but TDI Zulz still holding traction here in 3rd. It's going to be the most important part for him. Positions for 7th, 8th, for 2nd, for 3rd, for 4th and 5th as well. Everyone's so close together. Pretty
much every part of this championship still up for grabs, apart from the championship winners. We check out Ultimate Age 05, fighting his way from 2nd on the road and fighting for 2nd in the championship. And if he can stay about 2 spots ahead of Semper in this race, it might be enough to just about seal that away. Here comes the big fast left-hander, 130R.
It's actually great to see. We said TDI Zulz qualified up there from fighting for 7th to 8th position, but he's not only qualified there, he's actually looking really racing on Ultimate Age 05. So it'd be awesome to see if he can get onto the back of him and create a bit of a race.
Who's going to go for the early pit stop? Haro 5, that's usually his strategy. Come in on lap 1, the pit stop window opens on lap 1, closes at the end of the race on the beginning of the last lap of the race.
And as we've always said here, if you haven't watched the other weeks, there's no tyre deg and there's no damage or anything like that, or fuel. So pitting lap 1 compared to pitting lap 9 is no different. So if you're one of the guys sitting in, like Haro 05, say, sitting just a little bit further back and getting held up at all, you pit on lap 1. There's no disadvantage late in the race as we would have tyre deg.
Yep.
There's none. So you know, if I was one of them, I'd be pitting really early.
Yep. That's exactly what Holden 96 has done. He's decided to play that strategy, and that's why he's dropped now to the back of the pack. He's got now a clean air ahead of him and a chance to just try and turn some clean lap times. Ultimate Age 05 gaining on Mad Racer. Just clipped the the cones, I should say, going through the Dunlop curve. And here is a replay of the opening lap. Holden 96 and Superman going through the chicane side by side, and at that point Holden 96 decided it was time to pit.
It's great to watch the racing like that, really, because whenever I'm racing on a computer game, I just run them off the road.
Yeah. A lot more respect shown in this series.
So that's really good. Yep. You know, it shows that it's serious and they're here to race hard without just hitting each other off.
If you've ever had a crack at racing online, at just a general lobby, it's complete and utter chaos.
Yeah,
you just get smashed off the road pretty much on lap 1. So if you're watching this thinking, gee, these guys are pretty competitive, but they're also very fair with one another. They race each other regularly, even apart from the Boost Mobile Supercars E-Series. They do regular leagues on Xbox, racing each other on Forza.
And a lot of people out there got questions coming in going, these guys are surely, they're surely on wheels, but everyone's on a controller apart from TDI Zulz, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it's into week number 6. I'm pretty sure it's only TDI Zulz at this point. So, yeah, everyone handling themselves nicely, and you can see why Mad Racer develops a lead.
Yeah, it's great to see Ultimate Age 05 getting so close to him. He's really putting the pressure on now, and as you can see, he's opening up the exits a bit, so he's trying to set him up. So it'll be cool to see if, like you said, we've had no one pole and win in the race 1, so hopefully we keep that going.
All right, Ultimate Age 05. Can he catch him and keep that little streak going? No race winners from the pole. The Boost Mobile cars looking resplendent down at turn 1 as we go through this long double apex right-hander. Starts with a little kink to the right and goes all the way through. You may remember a very famous moment in Formula 1 back there where Ayrton Senna ran into the side of Alain Prost's Ferrari on the very first lap of the race and signed away a world championship. Certainly one way to win a world championship. Pit stop here for car 1 on the way back out. And it's Semper who has completed his stop now. Where's Holden 96? He'll be pretty close here. Oh, he's got him well and truly covered. Also, the Formula 1 E-Series wrapped up this week, which looked very exciting. And congratulations to those guys on such a big, successful series around the world. So there's no doubt, Will, that it's starting to get bigger and bigger, esports.
Yeah, definitely. And as you see here, I think Ultimate Age is really good in the first half of the track. He really pulls up on him here. And it's just really down towards the last half of the track. He just can't get it done. So, and as I say that, I think Mad Racer just had a lock up and he's got a good exit. So, no, it'll be cool. As you saw there, Mad Race had a lock-up. That's from, Ultimate Age. You put a lot of pressure on. You start showing the nose in a few sections, and you actually, sometimes you don't have to make the pass. They make a mistake. So you either set them up a fair bit to make them make the mistake, or you choose to get that pass.
Which is really rare. Mad Race has been clinical throughout all of his races. So Ultimate Age putting the pressure on. For once, Mad Racer doesn't have that much of a lead in front. So, again, Ultimate Age, he knows how much he needs this first position. He needs to be making pole each and every time. But first, we'll kind of lock down that lead over the top of Semper.
Gee, Mad Racer got such a good exit coming out of Spoon Curve and drove away from Ultimate Age. I want to send a big shout out to Daniel Burrows watching on the Facebook page as well, who's letting us know that Mr. Bucket actually uses a wheel and pedals as well. So it's actually 2 people out there. So
took me 6 rounds to work this out.
Yeah, I don't know where I was on that one, but thank you very much to Danielle for letting us know. And look at this, a change of strategy.
Yeah, smart decision by Ultimate Age 05 because he was stuck up there. He was actually catching him in the first section.
Yep.
So to pit now and get in there early. Not sure what's going on there, but to pit there and get in early. He gets out of the hot air. He's not behind him anymore. So when he comes back out, he'll have fresh air to try and pretty much do the undercut.
So 3 cars coming in. Ultimate Age 05 also in the pits right now. And how is this going to change up the scenario? Because we saw already 2 of the quick guys had pitted. You're watching XC Mr. Bucket make his way out of the pits. He's in a fight with Haro 5 in the championship, and Semper goes around him. Semper not too far away from Adrian Yalpi. Remember, they're fighting for second in the points.
It's going to be a close call. When Mad Racer pits, everything will come together. And we'll have to unbox it like your first present on Christmas Eve. I don't know if you ever snuck one. I feel like that's what we're getting today.
So, at the moment, Semper sitting behind Ultimate Age. Ultimate Age first of the drivers to have pitted. 3 drivers yet to pit. Mad Racer, who was the race leader before the pit stops, started to flow. Oof, big wheel for Ultimate Age.
We've also seen Mad Racer do a couple of, when I was here, he just pitted on the last lap pretty much, which is, he's in a rhythm. No point pitting and getting out of that rhythm. So just wait till the last lap and get it pit then.
Now, having said that, lately he has been changing it slightly when he's in a battle to try and cover the undercut.
Yep, okay.
So he might pit this lap to either cover the undercut. He's got 2 strategies, pit this lap or pit on the second last lap.
Well, the thing is, if he does pit this lap and get out in front of him, he's holding him up again, so he can keep him behind him. So I do understand that if if you pit on lap 9, he's actually quicker. He'll easily get in front of you. So, yeah, nearly pitting this lap would be.
Let's see. I've been wrong about plenty of things this season, but I've got a feeling that's going to be his strategy here. He played that card last week. Does he come in this time by and try and cover Ultimate Age 05, limit that undercut? Pit entrance, I should say, is coming up now. And there's your answer. So he will answer Ultimate Age 05 with that early pit stop. And now your race leader is TDI Zulz, cruising on by.
TDI Zulz wasn't that far back either then, looking at that. He was only probably a second off, so he's doing
close.
A great job, and he's on a wheel as well.
Yep.
So did we work out if they
have a disadvantage?
Did they have a disadvantage?
We believe so. We believe that tire temp is more of an issue
on the first lap.
Yeah, particularly when they're cold.
He was probably his strongest on the first couple of laps. So,
it looked really quick. So Ultimate Age 05 cruising by. Where is the race leader? Has he got him covered? He'll go around Haro 5. You're looking out the back of Mad Racer 38, who holds onto that position. Haro 5 will drop out behind Semper and ahead of Mr. Bucket. So no change in the top positions. The big question will be the Tasmanian, John O'Burrows. Where does he come out in relation to this battle? Because it was pretty close between himself and the race leader. You'd have to say, Will, probably between Ultimate Age and Semper at this stage.
Yeah, to pop out, it's for Mad Racer to pop out in the front, that was pretty smart, like you said, to do. But Ultimate Age 05 is there again, and to tell you the truth, a few of his lines, he's looking like he's tightening it up and got that little bit better exits in a few spots. So I think you'll see him pop up behind him and put a bit of pressure on.
I think that's going to be the case here as Ultimate Age 05 again now goes to work on the back of the race leader, or at least was the race leader before the pit stops. Up towards the hairpin one more time. Big slide in the background for Haro 5.
Yeah, it'll be surprising to see what TDI Zulz can do, and you know, he wasn't far off either of them. So if he can put a few good laps in here, he could pop out very close, which would really tighten it up and make it interesting.
It'd be cool to see him pick up a podium. He's deserving of one so far this year, as Mad Racer looks so strong through this second sector of the racetrack. Really quick through here. Here is your race leader now, yet to make his pit stop, but on track to potentially come out in third. Will he pit this lap, saying that the leaders have already pitted, or will he try and make the most of the clean air? Down towards the Casio chicane, using the curbs nicely. John O'Burrows looking the goods. Is it a pit stop?
The reason I probably wouldn't pit now if I was TDI Zulz, if Mad Racer and Ultimate Age 05 catch each other and start getting in a fight, you're out in fresh air.
True.
Well, if you pit now and end up behind them, you're in that dogfight as well. So I'd stay out there until the last lap if I was him now, and then just see where I end up, because, like I say, if these two get into it and start slowing each other down, he'll get the win.
And potentially, he could actually just take 7th. He could climb all the way up. I'm not sure what 6th was from memory, but I think it's way too far out of contention. But for TDI Zulz, if he gets at least one podium here today, if he gets first, then he might not have to worry about the other races as much.
All right, it's in the hands of the Tasmanian. When's he going to pit and where will he come out? We're not too far away from answering that question.
Boost Mobile.
Hands down, the best prepaid in Oz.
Get up to 75 gigs with Boost Mobile. Includes 23 gigs bonus data on your first 5 recharges.
Boost Mobile.
Game like the pros, now at Harvey Norman, your home of the great gaming deals. We have the best brands at the best prices, like Predator, Republic of Gamers, Omen, MSI. Hurry in for Predator desktops from only $26.98, Predator laptops from only $24.96, ROG laptops from only $22.96, and MSI laptops from only $18.97. Game like the pros, now at Harvey Norman, in store and online.
Go! Boost Mobile.
Hands down, the best telco in Australia.
Find out why Boost Mobile is CanStar Blues 2018 winner of the best prepaid in Oz at boost.com.au.
Get more. Boost Mobile.
Boost Mobile.
He was the first driver ever to win 100 races.
What a superstar!
He's a 3-time Australian champion.
What an unbelievable record for the kid!
Holden fans loved him.
Triple Eight heads him home.
Then Ford fans loved him.
Does the business for Ford.
And now everybody loves him. Who is this bloke? He sounds awesome.
Be there for Lounsey's last lap and the Supercars Championship finale, November 23 to 25. The Coates Hire Newcastle 500. Book now at Ticketek and get your heart racing.
Going to be a big finale to the Virgin Australia Supercars Championship. That championship's still very much alive, and there's still a few scores to settle in the Boost Mobile Supercars E-Series. We are watching the first of the 3 races tonight, the final night of the year, and the fight is on for the lead of the race between Mad Racer and Ultimate Age, although we're still waiting for the race leader TDI Zulz to pit.
Yeah, as we said before, we were waiting, and we went on the ad break, but TDI Zulz hasn't decided to pit, which I said I'd wait till the last lap. These guys, Ultimate Age 05 and that, could get into Mad Racer, they could get into a dogfight there, which will give him ultimately the win.
He just needs 1 or 2 seconds at most, and it might be enough to swing it around. He needs these 2 cars on screen to go to battle, and potentially that could be the strategy playing into his hands. He's got 2 laps before he has to make that pit stop.
Yeah, and Ultimate Age has been really putting the pressure on Mad Racer here. He hasn't left him alone at all, hasn't made any mistakes, and I think that'll be the biggest thing. Mad Racer, we saw him do 1 or 2 lockups before, so if he can keep the pressure on, you might actually see them get into that bit of a fight and get a bit closer.
All right, so that is the track map bottom left, which shows you that the race leader is up in the hairpin. 2nd and 3rd are just working their way through the Dunlop curve and into the Degner curve. About to go under the bridge. Is this lead big enough?
We're going to find out in a second. Mad Racer just... I mean, if he finds a first here, then you're just going, well... You didn't need it, but you're finishing it.
You didn't need it. You're being a bit greedy now.
Start strong, finish strong. That's definitely the mentality he's going by. And I'll be curious to see when he gets back to Bathurst if he has the same performance. But for now... especially on Suzuka, he's looking clean once again.
This is the biggest part where Mad Racer seems to get the good exit out of here. Ultimate Age 05 just hasn't seemed to get it right yet. The first, that first whole sector and first half of the track, Ultimate Age seems really strong, but it's just the last bit. So if he could get a good exit out of there and get really onto him, it'd be good to see him, really make a move.
Yeah, the problem is he just can't get close enough to have a crack at the chicane as TDI Zul's pit. So slightly earlier than potentially the strategy that could have played out to his hands. Where does he come out? A first-time podium in the series would be so cool. Mad Racer 38, we're right on board with him right now, about to take back the lead of the race. Or is he, depending on how quick the pit stop is for Jono Burrows. How much time did he lose in that run?
They're coming down the main straight now, so we're going to find out in about a couple of seconds. And no,
it's easily cruised by. The fight he'll be for
actually
third.
A fair way. It'll be for third or fourth here.
Here he goes. The rejoin's going to be tight down there at turn 1.
So that's surprising. He wasn't that far off TDI Zul's.
not even inside.
He lost a lot of time without those guys.
Yeah, don't know if he's made a mistake there or not, but I think he's actually popped back into 4th and got a bit of pressure on 5th place. So it'd be great if he could get back up there and put a bit of pressure on.
It's still better than what Superman's doing at the moment. Superman's sitting in 8th position, so he'd look at this and go, right, as long as I maintain 5th or 4th, or if I can climb my way back up to 3rd, then I will have done enough here on Suzuka.
Yeah, he's popped out in 4th behind Semper, and this is the battle that he's now in. And his life could get worse here because he's got a championship battle behind him with Haro 5 and Mr. Bucket, who are fighting for 4th in the points. 3-car fight now.
It'll be great to see. You never want to be Haro 5 in this situation. Got one behind, one in front. You don't know what to do. You don't know whether to attack or defend. So it'll be surprising to see what they do here.
Up towards the chicane. Haro 5 on the attack. Jono Burrows going very defensive at the hairpin to try and hold on to 4th spot. These are points in the bank that he badly needs right now. I feel like he had really good pace when he was running with the leaders. Yeah. It's almost like he was gauging himself off them, and when he got the clean air.
Which, to tell you the truth, as a rookie even last year, you really do that. When someone's quicker, like my teammate pulled umbrella, you jump behind him in qualifying, you really suck up along to him, and then when you feel confident yourself, you just do it all by yourself. So we might have found that he was just sitting behind and braking where they are doing all that, and when he's got a bit of fresh air, he's just losing that few tenths, here and there, which has dropped him back into, it might have helped pitting a bit earlier.
Yeah, hindsight's a wonderful thing, but maybe just following the leaders in could have been the strategy. Following Mad Racer in could have been the best way to go if that was where his pace was. Mr. Bucket wide. It's the fastest corner of the track.
He's actually defending down into here, so it'll be great to see. I think Haro 5 will get a better exit from that. And
not if he does that. Lit up the rear tyres twice. Cannot get the grip. And when the rear tyres get hot, you do lose that grip level quickly in this game. So that'll cost him just slightly. Back up towards turn 1. Last lap of the opening race of the night. Race number 16 of the championship. These are really important points for all 3 guys on screen.
It's looking good for Mad Racer, looking good for Ultimate Age 05. Still attacking in that 2nd position, wants to take his first at this rate on Suzuka. And I think Mad Racer at the moment, he's looking good to take it again. Haro 5 just attacking that position once more. TDI Zul's, you said it, he's still playing on the defensive there. And Haro 5's not letting him get away with it.
So the fight for the lead and the fight for 4th. That's the 2 battles that we're watching right now. Jono Burrows desperately trying to hang on to 4th spot and get a big bank of points. Get himself up from last in this championship.
I think it'll actually be interesting. I think Haro 5's got the pace over him. He's just holding him up a little bit there. So if he doesn't make a mistake, he might be able to hold it. But I think he's going to hassle him the whole way till the end.
Yeah, good scrap this one. Back to the hairpin. He was defensive around the hairpin last time. Does he park it over on the left-hand side again? Yes, he does. And this could be a 4-car fight with Holden 96 reeling him in.
Yeah, definitely. These guys slowing each other down. They're probably losing a second a lap, so it could be a 4-car battle before we see it.
The chicane's where it's all going to come to a head here as Mr. Bucket's got the run on Haro 5. Remember, they're fighting for 4th in the points. Your leaders going through the big, long spoon curve, turns 13 and 14. And the fight, you don't know where to look at this one. I love it as TDI does just hang on to 4th. Who is going to pick up the precious points here in this mid-pack battle? Multiple scores to settle. The very fast 130R curve coming up. And then the big braking spot up towards the Casio chicane. I think he's just done enough here.
Yeah, better handled that time as well. But here we
go.
Haro 5
Tries to go around the outside. It doesn't work there. Actually, Mr. Bucket nearly gets the job done back on him. And at the front of the field, it's Mad Racer 38 cashing in on another race win. Doesn't need them in terms of the championship point score.
Can't get any more gift cards. That's it. We've capped him at
becomes the first driver to win from pole position in race 1 as well. Held off comfortably Ultimate Age 05. And TDI gets his best point score of the season. 4th position for TDI Zills. Jono Burrows might have just done enough to get up to 7th in the championship.
Yeah, maybe, considering Superman finished back in 8th, so that's 4-point difference, or at least 4 position difference. So I think at this moment, you're saying that TDI Zills definitely deserves 7th. I mean, like, the guy picked up 4th. I'm so proud. Feels like a family moment here.
Yeah, definitely. And he was on the front 2 for a fair while there, and actually, you know, sort of putting a bit of pressure on him. So for him to jump up that far, you know, sitting around the 7th, 8th, and jump up to be battling in the 3rd position was really good to see.
Yeah, it was.
That is his 2nd 4th place finish, which equals his best result, which he picked up at Watkins Glen. So really good job from Jono Burrows. This is how they'll wash up. Mad Racer 38 picks up yet another win. He is just looking so strong this year, and he takes his record now all the way out to 9 race wins out of, what is it, just 16 races so far this year. So very, very impressive. That also means 13 podiums from 16 races as well.
Oh, well.
Pretty strong. Ultimate Age 05, another podium. Ditto that Semper. So that's the 11th podium for Ultimate Age, 9th podium for Semper. They're looking pretty strong. Equal best result for TDI Zills. And Haro 5 and XC Mr. Bucket locked in battle. That is still very much alive, the fight for 4th.
Yeah, it definitely is. Haro 05 just holding out to Mr. Bucket, but it's good to see the aggression comes through. I want to take us back to Ultimate Age and Semper. Semper's wishing right now, Ultimate Age is wishing right now that TDI Zills finished up in that 3rd position, that he, you know, didn't lose out to Semper. And this just makes it even closer. Ultimate Age and Semper, they're locked in a battle themselves. Ultimate Age is going to have the point advantage, but again, only by about 14 points after this first race.
Yeah, it's great to be back and actually watch it, like 9 laps around Suzuka and then be actually so tight. Like, you know, it's really good to watch. It's same as watching supercars, isn't it?
Oh, it's amazing. We've been treated to some really close racing all season long. We've probably had about 5 or 6 races that went down to the very last corner, let alone the last lap. Very rarely have we had a blowout. Rio was a bit of a blowout, but there was so much happening mid-pack that it didn't really matter.
You can't complain about Rio. That place is better than Carnival, so that went off.
So 2 minutes 7's the lap time. Remember, in qualifying, we had only the one driver into the 2:07, so they all improved on their lap times as well. So it gives you a pretty good rundown of what's happening, and it might just be enough to push Jono Burrows up into 7th in the championship. We've got him on the line. First time we've had a chance to chat to you, Jono. Hey, buddy, good race. Unlucky you didn't get the podium there, but you managed to hold off some pretty fast guys.
Oh, look, it was pretty nervous throughout those last couple of laps with Harvey bearing down on me, guys. I'm not going to lie, but that's good to finish pretty strong in one of the races at the last round of the series. It's been great fun.
Hey, how's it been for you so far? Because we've watched a lot of your races. We've kind of been rooting for you as well. How's it feel? Because you're one of the few drivers on the simulator there. How's the experience been for you?
The experience has been unreal, and I was lucky enough to get away to Bathurst last year as well, which was just amazing to have coincided with my birthday also. Just a shout out to Bucket as well. He's also racing on a wheel. I think he deserves a big shout out. He's done an amazing job this whole series. So consistent. And the other guys, well, they're just masters at what they do. So to be honest, I think it's just a time frame thing for me. Being a bit older, I need to spend a bit more time to keep the reflexes up for these guys. These guys are unreal, aren't they? How good are they? And a great, well done to Mad Racer too. What a win, what a series.
How often do you race these guys even outside of this championship?
Oh, look, I try and get on with these guys as often as I can, especially meeting them through last year's event. Maybe less than... maybe half a dozen times throughout the year. I think I've raced 3 of all these championship tracks of the E-Series. So I don't get that much time at it, but love the game. It's a great game. Cheap and easy to get at. It's great fun.
Yeah, how good's that? We're just checking out your highlights right now, and the battle between Haro 5 went right down to the last corner. He had a bit of a crack at you at the Casio chicane, but you held him off.
I did. I was using the sharp hairpins to check him up a little bit and try and get some drive out of the corner. Being mindful of Bucket back there as well. He was also looking for a gap. So, like I said, pretty nervy, but good to hang on.
You've got Will Brown cheering you on here, mate, in the studio tonight as well. Will, I like his chances of finishing 7th if he can keep that form up.
Yeah, definitely. That was an awesome job, actually. You know, hoping for you to get onto the podium. That was really good. But you know, to jump from 8th to 7th, and you know, I think Superman finished
at the back on that one.
Yeah,
so
that's a big points difference. So he'll be up into 7th now.
All right, Jono. Best of luck, mate. You got 2 more races. Hopefully, that first podium coming off for you.
Thanks for the support, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
No worries. Good on him. The man from Tasmania, a little place called Ranelagh, which is south of Hobart. Works in the logging industry down there and doing great things. The oldest guy in the field at 34 years of age as well. So he's been at it since the beginning of our championship last year when we ran at Bathurst. Like you said, he got to celebrate a birthday there and finished on the podium for the inaugural series. But that was when everyone was on steering wheel and pedals, and he had something of an advantage then because like, welcome to my world, guys. And he did a pretty good job. I think finished second and did a pretty good job also in the, I think he may have won the Pro-Am race there off the top of my head. So did a really, really good job.
Oh, well.
At Bathurst, that leaves us with 2 races to go. And we'll be now switching our attention over to Monza and reverse grid. So it's going to put now the guy who probably drops to 8th in the championship on the pole.
On first, yeah. Superman now a bit of a challenge here for TDI Zulls. At least finishing 4th. You know, TDI Zulls will once again be in the middle of the pack, so don't fear too much there. But
This is the result. It has officially lifted him, Jake, to 7th. He's got it.
With a 4-point lead as well. Yeah, now he can't catch up to Holden 96. You know, that's a little bit upsetting, but he can maintain this 7th position. And for Superman, this race is going to be everything. The reverse grid is pretty much the chance for him to take back over 7th.
Yep, 16 points separating Adrian Yalpi and Andrew Dyson, so Semper really needs to pick up the points there, sitting 3rd, and not much separating Haro 5 and Mr. Bucket either, so that's another good little battle to watch out for. Monza, very difficult, but lots of passing opportunities.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be pretty cool for Superman because, you know, there's not that many corners. You know, as long as he just white lines it down into the couple of S-bends, it should be pretty cool to watch. But he should be able to hold him up, back him up a little bit, and be cool to see if he can, you know, keep him up there for a little bit.
I saw you have a little bit of a smirk when he mentioned backing these guys up because genuine racecraft does enter into it.
Yeah, no, that was cool to see. He's actually really thinking about it because you do that. There was obviously Haro 5 was second in the battle, and then who was third in that?
It was Mr. Bucket.
Yep, Mr. Bucket. Yep. So if you can bank Haro 5 up, it gets Mr. Bucket onto him closer. So pretty much you get them to fight, and then you get away. So banking them up in the tighter corners and getting a good exit is smart.
All right, now we've got Will Brown, our very special guest here tonight in the studio. You can catch him on track this weekend at Newcastle. If you missed the Dunlop Super 2 action last year, Will was this close to picking up his first race win, but we've got you here turning some laps and I think practice last year. How good is this track? Check this out.
It was amazing. I absolutely love this track. Like you say, I broke down with 2 laps to go leading last year, so it was disappointing. And you know, but the track is just amazing. It's not so much, you know, from the racing perspective. There's not heaps of passing, but just as a track to cut laps on, I absolutely loved it. Like it would be one of my most favourite tracks, and just the elevation as well. You don't notice here going up this hill is so steep. Like walking, I hardly even get up it. So I don't do a track walk. I just drive it these days.
It's easier. Jake, this place is actually like a real life Rio. This one.
Oh yeah. No, well, I've been in Newcastle before, but I haven't seen the track because
It's amazing. Coming down this hill is the best feeling ever. Like look at that view, but like coming down there, just through.
I think I see you in the waves over there.
The budgies.
I saw a bloke in a budgie smugglers. I just assumed how could Will be in 2 spots at once. And then you go through something quite similar to Adelaide here.
Yeah, pretty much like the staircase at Adelaide, but it's just it's a tight track. It's hard, you know. It dips away so at each apex, so easy to lock an inside front. But just absolutely love the track. Can't speak highly of it. And to come down for the season finale, it is a really good track for that as well.
Yeah. Looks like a bit of a nice run there as well, and looks like a nice day for it. Hopefully you get weather that permits there running on the track. Before we do go forward though, Will, I have had a question for you, and maybe we can relate it to Newcastle. Have you got a favourite driver that you like competing with, or that you know, talking about backing each other up?
Or as in like actually racing with all the time?
Yeah, no.
In Super 2, probably Paul Dumbrell. He's a very hard racer, but he's very fair. You never see him really make many mistakes, and you never see him hit anyone. So Paul's, you know, that's probably comes with age and experience as well. You see, he's, you know, Jamie Wincup's co-driver, so he's obviously the best there is. But no, he's a very to race out there, hard racer and fair.
Yeah, great.
You certainly raced him hard at Bathurst, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You made him earn every spot out there.
I did, yep.
Yeah, no love for the teammates. You race for every single point in the Dunlop Super 2 Championship. That's why we love it so much. Check out the last round for those guys this weekend. Monza is up next, and this is what it looks like. If you've not seen this famous Formula One circuit, it is an absolute peach of a place. It's littered with these tough chicanes now. In the old days, it used to run around a big oval and switch back around on itself. It was a high-speed joint. Still has a lot of that high-speed nature to it, but with chicanes and passing opportunities built into it, like this corner, which is, as Will found out today, flat out.
Yeah, I just did it flat with a few moments, but I'm like most keen, like you said, with the switchbacks, the S-bends. They're tight, they're hard braking. It normally causes carnage, which, we don't want carnage, but we want a bit of rubbing, bit of racing, and a lot of passing. So they're good passing opportunities, which, will be really cool.
Now, they don't have those tyre walls there in real life, but in the game they've got in place there to just limit people being able to shortcut across the chicane. A couple of very similar turns through the right-handers, the Lesmo 1 and Lesmo 2. This is turn 5, only 8 corners, which actually is probably the least out of any Grand Prix circuit in total when you think about the chicanes being just the one turn. This very fast run, you go under the bridge here, which is where the old track used to go across.
Yep.
So you can actually walk around the old circuit, the big high banks of Monza.
For average lap time, for average speed, this is the fastest track for Formula One, I'm pretty sure. I was watching it the other day. So super fast track. As you say, not many corners, but it's quite flowing as well, apart from the few little switchbacks. So through here, it's about getting the drive, that lateral load. As we know, we had a few little tank slappers out there. Might have hit the fence.
Yeah,
but
it's tough through there.
Yep.
You go all the way up to the Parabolic up, and you may even be able to catch a glance of the old racetrack that goes around the outside here, because it literally runs all the way around this last corner and then leads you back onto the front straight. Getting the power down here is quite difficult. Shifting up through the gears. Third, maybe fourth gear by the time you get through the mid part of that corner. There's the old track rejoining on the left. Pit entrance on the right, and that famous podium where the Italian fans really do get into it when Formula One races there. But they also race World Superbikes here as well. You can imagine how fast it'd be on 2 wheels.
That would be fast.
It'd be very, very cool indeed. And Superman is going to be on the pole for our stop at Monza, second last race of the year. So can Zach Donaldson, we've been cheering for Teddy Azuls. Well, if we're fair, it's time to get around. The man from Shepparton here, can he get himself back up to 7th?
This looks like a much easier track as well for him, so hopefully staying in that first position. A couple of those curves, couple of those chicanes we're talking about, maybe going to stop him and maybe give opportunities for Holden 96. Holden 96, I mean, he can still rise up to Haro 05. There's so many stories here. There's so many exciting moments we're going to see. The only person that's pretty much out of the narrative at this point is Mad Racer, and I think it's Mr. Bucket. No, it's not even Mr. Bucket. It's Holden 96 himself.
Yep, he's at the front, and Holden 96 is pretty much locked down 6 in the championship, so it doesn't matter what happens tonight. He's pretty much locked in for that spot. There are plenty of other championship battles to be settled. How far can Matty Bink climb up from 8th? He hasn't finished lower than 5th all season long. He's got a podium in every single race apart from 3 where he finished 4th, 4th and 5th, so having a pretty incredible year.
Yeah, like we were saying before, for Superman, it's actually not worked out good. Start, reverse grid.
Yep.
He could get a lot of points
part of
from
the
these.
plan.
Part of the plan. Well,
tactical
if
advantage.
Teddy Azuls doesn't get the best start, he's sitting down around 5th, 6th. So it'll be interesting to see because there's a fair bit of a points gap from there.
Yep.
And he could well jump back up into 7th.
All right, I think this first corner, guys, is going to be chaos. So keep an eye on this. There is the potential for some chaos and drama down at turn 1. Into the chicane we go. We're looking from the very back of the pack, which is probably a good spot to be watching from, as everyone locks it up and tries to stay off one another. They've done a very good job getting through there. Some paint being swapped, but pretty clean. You'd have to say that was a good start. Actually, Mr. Bucket lighting up the rear tyres. Remember, he's fighting with Haro 5 in the championship, and Superman's checking out. This is a great start from Zach Donaldson, the man from Shepparton, trying to get those points back. No podiums from him this year. Could this be the race?
He didn't want to borrow it. He just leapt ahead. And you can already see the distance being made up a little bit here by Holden. But he's off. He's done.
Haro 5 on the grass as he approaches the first of the Lesmo curves. He uses the curb to try and stay off Holden 96, and he does. And this is just, again, helping Superman to skip away.
Definitely, and also for Mad Racer, he started from the back of the field, and look at him, he's already up into 5th, and these guys are fighting hard, so he's going to get a good exit out of here and possibly get them both. So he's had a good first lap, but
huge chance of 3-wide action here as we get up towards the Ascari curves. He's catching them. Not quite got the track position, though, to make a move. Mr. Bucket and Haro 5 side by side and runs him wide. They both go off. And he drops to the very back of the pack.
Now this helped Mad Racer. He's already up into third.
What a
not
start.
even a lap down. 7 corners down and already up to third. So that'll be pretty cool to watch. And for Superman, like we said, him starting off the front row has helped. He's just he's checked out when everyone's fighting, and that's what he had to do. So hopefully he might not be as quick as them, but if he can just hold it and just until they check back and hold him up, he might be able to get that bit of a gap.
Well, we take a look back, and Teddy Azul's, he started in 5th position. He dropped all the way back to 8th, and now with this scuffle here, this has just helped him out.
All right, here it is again. Just couldn't quite get the car stopped down there, Mr. Bucket. Rode Haro 5 wide, self-penalising because he dropped back behind him. I wonder how our admins will view that one. We do have pit stops happening. Mad Racer pitting on the opening lap from 3rd. So trying to get the clean air on the guys that are at the front of the pack. That's an aggressive strategy. And he brings Ultimate Age with him and Haro 5.
Wonder if any short fuel to jump him or not.
Yeah, 120-litre fuel drop race. Maybe try
We'll just conserve fuel for the rest.
Drop a few less litres in and get out there. Superman, your race leader. Holden 96 second. And Mad Racer 38, the first driver to have served their pit stop. Well, this is going to change the championship up in a big, big way.
It's actually great to see that Superman is still out in the lead. He's still holding him, you know, they're not catching him that quickly. So it was be surprising to see what Mad Racer and that can do after pitting.
What a time this would be to get his first podium of the year for Zach Donaldson. Has been the sleeper in the pack all year. Finished 5th on 2 occasions, round 2, and then most recently Watkins Glen in the first of the American legs. But today at Monza could be his day as we check out the race leader cruising down with a handy lead over Holden 96. So what does he do? Well, does he pit now knowing that the fast guys have already pitted and at least try and get out ahead of them?
Yeah, well, that would probably be my strategy. You know, get out ahead of them. They've got to pass you. You can hold them up then, where if he just runs around by himself, you know, they're just going to pretty much just pass him. Cruise by without even having to pass him. But I tell you what, if I was Ultimate Age 05, I'd be sick of seeing the back of Mad Racer's car. Each race he keeps seeing him. So
we've had 16 races. I think he's been looking at the back of him about 15. What was that? Actually, Mr. Bucket wide. Again? Down through the parabolica, and there was contact with the champ. So what happened there to cause that, as we now get him into the pits here, Mad Racer?
It's actually Teddy Azul's going to the pit.
Yeah, I thought Mad Racer had already pitted, yes.
That was, it looked like Teddy Azul hit the brakes a little bit early, and Mr. Bucket kind of swung in.
So that was a bit of an awkward one down there, but we have pit stops taking place.
I don't know what Mr. Bucket's avatar's wearing. Everyone else looks like a racer. Mr. Bucket looks like a 1940s plane driver. look, what is going on there? Is he wearing a mask or what?
Also, news out of the admins that Semper's picked up a 2.5-second penalty for track limits is the call, and the fight's on his Haro 5. Swings around the outside and takes that spot away. So TD Azul's with some spots to make up here. Tried the early pit stop, didn't quite work for him.
This is going to be interesting because TD Azul's is sitting 8th right now, which Superman, you know, he's in the lead, so it'll be surprising. I think
that work.
We're going to see another switch in the championship from 7th to 8th. So it'll the best thing is it'll come down to Bathurst.
Yes, absolutely. The last race of the year is going to be key for that one. Let's check out some replays. And do we have something on the track down here at the chicane?
Oh, look, guys, I don't want to point out the obvious. I reckon he went over.
So that could be where the penalty was picked up, I think, for Semper.
Okay.
Makes a lot of sense.
It's a tough call because you don't make up a huge amount of time by bouncing over the big speed bumps down there. But that is the call, and that is what you need to respect. Now, Holden 96 is catching Superman at a rapid rate of knots. Yet to pit these two. And they'll go around one more time.
Either one of them finishing with the first.
Yeah, it'd be a pretty amazing time to pick up their first race win of the year. For either one of these two. Oh, he's all over him here.
Oh, as you can see, Superman's he's feeling the pressure. He's running wider. You know, he's not getting the
well, he hasn't been in this position before. He hasn't maintained first throughout multiple laps on a race. He's always dropped. Even if he's finished first after the reverse grid, he's always dropped behind due to this pressure. So it's a good start, but again, continuing it, and the word consistency seems to flow through our minds.
Yeah, definitely. And he's just got to not overdrive. The biggest thing, we talk about that a lot in Van Supercars, as you just saw there. It's about overdriving, and I think he's doing that right now, which is going to let Holden 96, get the better run, which has happened. And no, it's just about keeping calm behind the wheel and just cutting your laps.
Change for the lead, and that was important for Holden 96, and he makes a mistake. Missed a gear there. It hit the limiter. Superman nearly gets him back, and these two are scrapping pretty hard here, so it's probably going to be to the advantage of Mad Racer. Tucked in behind him, he's got the run. Fight for the lead is nothing if not entertaining between Superman, who wants the lead back, and Holden 96, who's got him covered down here, heading into Ascari. Good fight, this one. Will either of them pit to get out of this battle? They are losing time.
Superman's going to have a good exit out of here, actually. Holden 96 had a bit of a wobble. I reckon he could probably get him down here, but Holden 96 doing covering, which is a smart thing to do. You've got past him, you're quicker, but got a bit of pressure on now. But Superman, he could really, take the wide exit here, cut back, get the drive, and get him down the front straight.
Can't quite make that work. Pit stop available if he wants it, and he'll take it. So the pole sitter comes in. That leaves Holden 96 out there. Now, where does he come out in comparison to the first of the guys to have pitted, which is, you guessed it, Mad Racer 38. Don't tell me he's going to win this one from last position.
Yeah.
I won't put it past him.
I think it's on the cards there. They had quite a big fight than Holden 96, and the best thing is wherever, Ultimate, who just pitted, sorry?
Superman.
Superman came in, yeah.
Yeah, wherever Superman came in and comes out, I think that's where Holden 96 is pretty much going to sit around. So it'll give us a bit of an idea as to where the race leaders right now are actually going to pop out in.
It's about to give us a bit of an idea. Mad Racer 38 cruising past.
Oh, he's actually got him.
Hello.
Superman's actually got quite a big lead, so we might actually see Holden 96. Oh,
he has too. He's got him covered down here at the chicane if he can get it stopped. Wow, that's something of a surprise. Oh, he just runs over the curb. Managed to, I think, keep two wheels on the circuit.
Yeah, I think that was okay.
It'll be tight, but now he's got the champ pouring the pressure on him. The champ's got nothing to lose. At worst, he's got a podium on here.
Yeah, this is good. This is hard for TDI Zulz, because if he can finish first, second, or third, and TDI Zulz is last, it's going to be a big jump, and Bathurst will be a tough one then.
To try and get those points back. And it might be enough to give him a pretty good starting spot as well for Bathurst, but he did finish last in the earlier race.
I think the biggest thing we're going to see is that Mad Racer is just going to put so much pressure on him. And as we saw before, Superman just didn't have it when he was under pressure. So I think Mad Racer, the championship leader and obviously the ultimate quickest one lately,
Yep.
I think he'll be able to pass him.
He's clinical right now. And still on the back of Superman, trying to build up as much distance as possible. You know, we talk about Superman being pressure, but he's still maintaining this lead. And again, it'll depend on the pits.
It'll be surprising to see how long
Holden... Big slide there, Will. He's feeling the pressure now.
It'll be surprising to see when Holden 96 decides to pit. That'll be the biggest thing. But Mad Racer here, if I was Superman, I'd be covering him. I wouldn't let him past at all.
Can he get the job done at the Parabolica?
He knows
yes, he's got him up towards the inside.
Oh.
But it's not quite done yet. Superman hanging on the outside, but Mad Racer moves through. Critical move for the overall result of this race, because if he held him up there, Holden 96 would have been the big winner.
I think Mad Racer's just done so much more work on these tracks than anyone else. Each and every week, I reckon he just sits there and does that extra couple of 100 hours on the track than anyone else. You saw him coming around that turn there. Just knows exactly when to brake. He takes it to the last moment. The aggression's still there. Smoke's coming out the rear tyres there from Superman.
He tried to get the switch back on him
That's
then.
right, he did a good job. But the biggest thing for Superman, which probably is smart then, to let Mad Racer just go and not fight him, it gives you that gap back to XE Mr. Bucket, where if you fight with him, if Superman fights with Mad Racer, you push each other back to Ultimate Age 05, and then he could lose even more positions.
If it gives him second here, it doesn't matter. TDI Zul's sitting in 8th. It's a different position. Whereas in the first race, TDI Zul's managed to just claw out on 4th. So
huge points.
Second, 16 points. Right now, TDI Zul's got to be fearing if he can't climb through. And look how far behind he is, mind you.
It's a big gap. So Holden 96 goes through the Parabolica. Will he pit this time by? Will he keep running up to that penultimate lap, which is a strategy we've seen on plenty of occasions? He's coming in.
He's going into the pits, yep.
So the race for the lead is on. He may have him covered because Mad Racer did drop a little bit of time there.
I think, yeah, like we say, Mad Racer had to get past him, past Superman. So I think
just a lap or two, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure what Holden 96 lap times are like right now, but there's only 3 laps to the end, so he might be able to hold him out.
This would be absolutely huge for Matty Collins, 22 years of age. Hasn't finished higher than 3rd all season to try and pick up a race win here at Monza. Second last race there. He's moving already out of his pit box.
I think he
might have him covered here.
Yeah, he should have him covered.
Matty Bink on the front straight. You can see the headlights coming. Here comes the rejoin now. Those headlights are going to get bigger and bigger. But it looks like it's okay for the young man from Adelaide. He has got it done in and out of the pits, and he holds on to the race lead. Now he just has to hang on and fend off the champ.
But can he hang on?
That's the big question.
Got, for the 3 laps, it's actually quite a sizable lead. So I think you'll find that he'll be able to hold on, but it's just Mad Racer. When he keeps pressuring him and getting closer and closer, that'll be the time when we really tell if he makes any mistakes.
That was a critical move. We've also got Semper to work into the mix. He's yet to pit. Who's going to win this one? Second last race of the year at Monza.
Boost Mobile.
Hands down, the best prepaid in Oz.
Get up to 75 gigs with Boost Mobile. Includes 23 gigs bonus data on your first 5 recharges.
Boost Mobile.
Game like the pros, now at Harvey Norman, your home of the great gaming deals. We have the best brands at the best prices, like Predator, Republic of Gamers, Omen, MSI. Hurry in for Predator desktops from only $26.98, Predator laptops from only $24.96, ROG laptops from only $22.96, and MSI laptops from only $18.97. Game like the pros, now at Harvey Norman, in store and online.
Go!
He was the first driver ever to win 100 races.
What a superstar!
He's a 3-time Australian champion.
What an unbelievable record for the kid.
Holden fans loved him.
Triple Eight heads him home.
Then Ford fans loved him.
Does the business for Ford.
And now everybody loves him. Who is this bloke? He sounds awesome.
Be there for Lounsey's last lap and the Supercars Championship finale, November 23 to 25. The Coates Hire Newcastle 500. Book now at Ticketek and get your heart racing.
Boost Mobile.
Hands down, the best telco in Australia.
Find out why Boost Mobile is CanStar Blues 2018 winner of the best prepaid in Oz at boost.com.au.
Get more. Boost Mobile.
Boost Mobile.
This is the Boost Mobile Supercars E-Series, penultimate race of the year. We're checking out the action at Monza tonight, and we've got a race on our hands. Second in the championship, Ultimate Age 05, putting the pressure on Superman, who's trying to get himself up from last in this championship. He was relegated to last in the last race. He's having a pretty good run tonight, but here comes Adrian Yalpi under brakes.
Might just take him as well around this corner. Adrian Yalpi.
Oh, man, I thought they were headed for the...
Haro 5's coming up as well.
Tyres.
Superman almost smoking out to the side.
And Haro 5 might get them both here. I think that was Ultimate Age early on the brakes. 3-car battle this. Here we go.
Superman's drawing back as well. We're coming around this corner. He's dropped into 7th. And TD Isles is going, yes. Now let me take him down.
He's fallen all the way back through the pack after leading this race earlier. He will get a couple more points back on him.
It will still come down to Bathurst ultimately, but that's a little bit disappointing for Superman because I think he's having such a good run and he's doing a really good job.
What a shame. So he's dropped to the back of this pack. We still have Semper to figure out in this pack as well, by the way, who will probably come out maybe in this battle pack, and he is carrying a 2.5-second penalty. So that'll be the last guy to watch out for, and Semper will be pitting this lap by because it is the beginning of the last lap.
I think we may even see, Holden 96 actually still holding the lead, which is great for him.
Yep.
And also Mad Racer, if he could, I'm sort of hoping Nilly doesn't get to him because it'd be nice for Holden 96 to get a win, and Mad Racer has definitely taken a few of them.
He doesn't seem to be as affected by pressure as much as I think someone like Superman. Because Superman, you saw the pressure of each individual player has gotten to him. He's dropped all the way to 7th, which is great story for TDI Zulls. Like, I'll say it again and again. TDI's Zulls will still be leading after this, just because of the low amount of points in 7th and 8th.
Should be about 2 points between them, but we do have these two drivers to factor into the scenario, and they'll be pretty close to that battle pack. So Semper and XE Mr. Bucket will pit this lap. That's the difference on track, and they will pop out. You can see the third battle pack going through Curva Grande right now and up towards the second of the chicanes. I think they'll pop out somewhere in there.
Actually, looking at it as well, Holden 96, Mad Racer isn't even gaining on him, so he's holding that distance. So that's a really good job.
He's on for the race win here. Last time by, next time by, and we've got the pit stops for first and second coming up this lap, and they'll hand it over to these guys. Holden 96 doing a really good job. Did race in the inaugural Harvey Norman Supercars Xbox Challenge, which took place at Mount Panorama last year. In come the race leaders, as expected. Bit of damage on the back of Semper's car. He is carrying a 2.5 second penalty as well.
But for Mr. Bucket, if he can come out at least second, again, placing's everything here in this penultimate track, as Bryony kept saying over and over. She said it was we're leading up to the penultimate week, and now I know what that word means. So
We've got a dictionary out.
Yeah. But
I think the leaders guys are going to come out somewhere around Haro 5.
He's hoping.
We're about to answer that question, aren't we? Because here they are, they're moving now. Holden 96 will cruise by. He's already drawn level with them and goes past to retake the lead of the race. Right there. Mad Racer goes by, and they've popped out in third. So Clean Air working nicely for them. Last lap for Holden 96, who leads us down to the chicane. Then it's Semper and Mr. Bucket. So if Mr. Bucket can stay within 2.5 seconds of Semper, he'll pick up third and potentially jump Haro 5 in the championship. Or he can just pass him on the track.
Yeah, I just saw that.
That'll sort it, yeah.
This is a good move here for Mr. Bucket. Semper's fighting with Ultimate Age, but at this point, he's saying, all right, you know, I'm doing well. Definitely holding my lead, and that's a big bump.
Couldn't quite get the car stopped.
Semper's just really annoyed with Mr. Bucket, so he's going to show his frustration, then lose a bit of that distance there off the back of it.
So what's the gap between Semper and Haro 5?
I just had a look. I think it's only about, you know, even back to Ultimate Age 05, it's less than 2.5 seconds. So he's actually going to move back to probably about 6th or 7th position right now.
And that's important points for Haro 5. So needs to try and stay 2.5 seconds ahead of Haro 5. And the other guy who's probably hoping that that happens is Mr. Bucket, fighting for 4th in the championship. What a race this has been from Holden 96.
Has he had any wins yet?
Nope.
No wins.
First time win, potentially.
Well, you know, we've got one corner left. It'd be pretty disappointing, wouldn't it?
He'd be spewing.
Look, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, hopefully the connection doesn't cut out. He'd be spewing, wouldn't
It'd be
you?
the most painful disconnect ever. He's got one corner to go. He's beating the champ, the 22-year-old from Adelaide, Matty Collings. It's Matt versus Matt at the front of the field. And he's just got it stopped. He nearly ran it wide at the Parabolica, but he should have it covered. Mad Racer 38 closing in, but give it all up for right now. Holden 96, your race winner at Monza. How about that? Where did that one come from? He wins the second last race of the championship, and he wins his first race of the Boost Mobile Supercars E-Series from Mad Racer 38. XE Mr. Bucket third. Now, Semper was fourth, but that is definitely pending the 2.5 second penalty. And guys, again, the championship scenario swings around.
Thankfully, like your last week, you come through, you haven't picked up a win yet, and you go, what a way to finish it. Let's pick up a race win. Holden 96, this is great. He is the one person out of any of the standings that cannot be affected, which is kind of a pain, but at least he'll finish on a good note.
Yeah, the only two guys to not be in a championship fight tonight.
Oh, yeah, and Mad Racer.
Are the two guys who've won races.
Yeah, definitely, and it's probably the thing that they've got no pressure on him, no pressure at all. But he drove a really good race then. Like with Mad Racer closing in, he didn't feel the pressure. He just kept the distance, and it was only really on the last lap that he closed in, which is generally when you take it a bit easier. You know you got that gap, so you make no mistakes.
Ooh.
That's how it's worked out.
Okay.
So for Semper,
I think he's going to come fifth.
If we give him the 2.5 second penalty?
Yep. That looks like it because he's about 1 point.
I'll let you do the math.
Yeah, no, that definitely, because that would just be the game score, so that'd be without the penalty. And I think Haro 5 will take 4th position due to the 2.5 second imposed onto Semper.
I think that actually bumps Ultimate Age up to 5th. And I think Semper may even drop to 6th if we adding the 2.5-second penalty.
So you're right. Oh, I think it might be by a couple of milliseconds that Semper holds
yeah.
fifth.
So trouble for Semper. That is a really harsh penalty when you look at it. 2.5 seconds dropping you 2 spots.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when you wouldn't have made up, a lot of time. But the thing is, there is track limits, and we learned that. So that's the biggest thing.
So that pretty much that would have given him potentially second in the championship there as well had he not had that penalty because it keeps him now. Drops him below Ultimate Age 05. He was about to get some points back on him. So that is big for the championship. And Superman and TDI Azul's having their own scrap back there, which by my maths, I think it's 2 points now.
It should be 2 points because it was only 7th and 8th. And again, TDI Azul's probably happy that Superman dropped all the way back. It was a pretty good start of the race for him. We're saying the consistency needs to come through, and it looked like it was by lap 4. But then it kind of just all dropped out.
Yeah, lost the speed there, unfortunately. But one guy who did not lose his speed, Matty Collings, Holden 96 is our race winner tonight. We're going to check in with him right now. Can you hear us there, Matty?
Yeah, man, loud and clear.
How good was that, buddy? Well done. You have picked up your first race win in the Boost Mobile E-Series. How does that feel?
Oh, pretty good. It's pretty much my goal going into it is at least get one race win. And yeah, even though it was a reverse grid, I'll take it either way.
Did you think it was going to be on Monza? Because we're towards the end now in the Champions League, and you look pretty good in some other races. So confidence going into this one?
Yeah, a little bบ. Well, especially starting second, because there's not many corners to pass and all that, and just had to try and get it right every time. So it went well.
I know you said, it was a reverse grid and you'll take it, but obviously Mad Racer was behind you for the last 4 laps, and you did a pretty good job to pretty much lose no time to him. He didn't really gain on you very much.
Yeah, the second I saw him pass Superman, I went, I've got to come in now, because, he's the benchmark, and yeah, when I saw the gap was 100 metres or so, just tried to maintain it, and sure enough, lucky.
There was a bit going on in the background of the opening lap. XC, Mr. Bucket, and Haro 5 were into it. Did you see much of the battle behind you on the opening lap, or it was pretty clean for you?
Oh, it was pretty clean for me. I did see bits of it, but just tried to keep my nose clean, really, and get away from it when they're all having a go.
Yeah, they were into it there for a couple laps. A few guys getting pushed off wide down at the Parabolica as well. How about your pit stop strategy tonight? Were you pretty happy with how you played that?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, the second I saw Superman get passed by Mad Racer, I thought, I've got to go in now just to cover.
Were you wondering where you guys would pop out? Obviously, when Superman pitted, were you sure if you'd be ahead of Mad Racer or behind, or were you waiting for him to pit to then be able to judge that?
Yeah, well, when I overtook him, he pitted in behind me, and so I just used him as a guide, really, of whether he came out in front of the pack or not. And when I saw he did, I thought, keep going with the clean air until, like I said, he got passed by a Mad Racer, and then I went, no, it's time now.
Yep.
Hey, what about moving forward? You finish on the track you started with. What are your thoughts going into Bathurst?
Oh, it's going to be so tight there. Like, everyone's done that many laps there. It's going to be so hard to do anything. It's going to be so tight.
How many laps did you turn in qualifying to try and get into the field for Bathurst, do you reckon?
Probably about 100 or so. Did like a couple 20-minute sessions and that. Like in the top 5 or so, just wanted to keep going better. Just more practice and that.
Yeah.
Have you found the competition harder than Bathurst last year when you were there for the Harvey Norman Xbox Challenge?
Yeah, I'd say so. I struggled with the simulators last year. I was not that good at them at all. But yeah, definitely better because I think I came last in nearly every race last year.
I think we need to get him down to the sim at Erebus and give him a crack there to get some miles, Will. What do you reckon?
Yeah, definitely. That'd be cool.
All right, mate. Well done. Congratulations on your first race win and best of luck at Bathurst.
Thank you, man. Cheers.
All right, well done. Mate. That was a hard-earned victory for Matty Collings, the 22-year-old from Adelaide. He's picked up his first race win, and he joins the likes now of Mad Racer, Semper, Ultimate Age, and Haro 5 as race winners. He's our 5th race winner of the year. And again, it swings the championship around. Mad Racer 38 has all but just streaked away with this championship. We know that. But how about that battle at the bottom? 2 points in it.
I'm just going to point this out now. I know the battle for the bottom is going to be the one to look at. Mr. Bucket and Haro 05, definitely going to look at. If Ultimate Age gets last, which, is he has to finish, right? So he'll get 2 points. Semper needs a race win on Bathurst to tie this up between Ultimate Age. Otherwise, second is secured right here and now. Yeah, it's going to be a hard ask from there. And that was the difference between losing those points just then in race 2. He had a chance to jump up above him. Mr. Bucket now 6 points away from Haro 5, and he's probably the form man. Remember, those two were into it on the opening lap at Monza, so I think they've definitely squared off against one another now. Oh, Haro 5 just wants to stamp his foot down. We know he's not where he wants to be, but to finish here on Bathurst, That would be the way to do it. This is really just going to finish off perfectly. The Champions leg, the finish of the Boost Mobile Supercars E-Series, it comes down to this race and how fitting is it that we finish on Bathurst.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty exciting stuff. The first time we raced at Bathurst was the opening night. We raced there for race 3 that night, and it was a Mad Racer 38 versus Ultimate Age 05 battle. Do you think that's probably the way it's going to work out now?
I mean, I assume so. I assume that it's just going to be Mad Racer who takes it again. To be honest, I'll put my chips down and say that Mad Racer's been performing so well. He finished 2nd there.
Yep.
And that was a bit of a
From
surprise
8th.
anyway. Yeah, from 8th. And now he's probably going to be starting in 2nd or 3rd, I think, at the very least, or maybe just 1st.
Yeah, I think he should have have pole with the first
should
and
have pole,
second.
yeah, first and second.
And he climbed a couple, so expect a first
consistency
again.
is the biggest thing.
I'm willing to bet down that Mad Racer cleans this out.
It'd be a hard grid to judge this one because Holden 96 didn't go too well in race 1. TD Azul's finished 4th in the opening race and then dropped back. Ultimate Age has had an okay night, so he might be floating around the top few spots. Maybe Exy Mr. Bucket. Hard to see how this grid's going to work out. We'll bring you that grid when we get a chance, not too far away from capping this final race off for the championship. It's been a really competitive year. And I think, like Maddie said, the level of competition and how much it's raised from the opening races that we did last year at Bathurst is astronomical.
Well, Will, what's the difference between week 2 and now? Do you see the drivers kind of, taking more risks, or do you think it's a little bit cleaner?
To tell you the truth, week 2 was very good as well. Like, I thought it might have got. It's probably the racing is a bit tougher now, and they're definitely passing a fair bit more. But I think these guys, looking at all the stuff they've done in the esports and on Forza, they've done a lot of laps coming into the championship, and you've seen them be very consistent. So. It's probably not a whole heap tougher, but it's definitely last round. You're always going to give it.
I think, sorry to interrupt, I think next time we get them on karts and we get them around the track just to get that competitiveness in person as well.
Yeah, I like Mad Race's potential there, given that he actually does race in the XL Series. If you are keen to check out the championship battle for real this weekend of the Virgin Australia Supercars Championship, this is how they stand. Amazingly, with 2 races to go. Now, you consider what we've had 16 races in our championship, now 17, and it's sorted. Check this out, Hysterics. 29 races down, 2 to go, 14 points. Separate the top 2.
Not a bad way. I definitely see the comparison here between what we're doing in the E-Series and our championship points in the Supercars. So that's going to be a banger of a finish, I reckon.
You just cannot even believe that that's possible, Will, after 3,600 points. That there'd be 14 separating them.
The thing I'd be watching this weekend is Scott McLaughlin. We saw him in this position last year, and he was leading. And it was actually Jamie Whincup going to the last round. But Scott's up there again. He's been on form 2 years in a row, so it'd be great to see him win. But Shane Van Gisbergen, like we were talking before, he's tough. He's just one of those races that I think a few people, on the track, he's very tough. So it's good to watch. I think Scott will have to bring his A game, and they both will. But it'll be really good to watch this weekend.
And look, if you want one of them to fail, just stand on the side of the track, take your pants off, put your budgie smugglers on.
Budgie smugglers will do the job. It's going to be so tight. A reminder, there's 150 points up for grabs on Saturday and another 150 points up for grabs on Sunday. So a huge amount of points up for grabs. The difference between first and second in a Supercars race is 12 points. So it's not hard to see how tight it's going to be between those two at the front. The championship pressure is going to be huge. And in Super 2, there's actually 4 drivers in contention. So I think all weekend long, the racing is just going to be amazing.
Definitely, no. It's like I was saying before, it's an awesome track, and definitely for the season finale. We saw an awesome season finale last year. Like to see obviously Jamie Whincup win, but the battle between Lowndes and McLaughlin and the crash and all the stuff, it was a really, really cool way to end off the year. I know for Scott it wasn't ideal, and it probably he was one of the best out there last year. But no, it was just probably the best way it could really end up.
It was absolutely crazy. And if you could not believe that you needed any more drama or storylines for this weekend, it's also Craig Lowndes' last weekend as a full-time driver. He's retiring at the end of this Sunday. So there's just so many storylines to spin off. So that championship will wrap up at Newcastle. Our championship will be wrapping up at Bathurst. This is where we're racing tonight. It is our most famous circuit in Australia. What a place. Mount Panorama. We have the 12 hour there in February. We have the 1,000K race there in October. And the 6 hours getting bigger and bigger as well over Easter time. What a track this is. We'll see lap time somewhere around the 2:08 mark, I reckon, tonight. We do see 2:03s in Supercars. How about the 1:59 on the weekend? from a GT car.
I did see that. That was pretty amazing. I was wondering how it happened. It obviously wasn't restricted. But you know, that is exceptional. 159 round there. Like, Bathurst is super fast in a Super 2 car, doing 207s, 206s. So let alone doing that. But it's an amazing track. Like, there's no way to describe it apart from, you know, it's scary, it's frightening as well. But you know, it's just thrilling. Like, just to get to drive around there. Every session you come in with a smile on your face.
Definitely good to be back as well.
Yeah, let's go around our probably home circuit, we'll call it, for the Boost Mobile Supercars E-Series. First corner, Will, a chance to have a little breather up Mountain Straight for what happens after that.
Definitely. This is the thing about turn 1 is you got to get a good exit. You're running, it's a long run up to turn 2, and it's actually uphill. So, you know, getting any sort of oversteer or anything like that out of there will really hurt you up here, and you'll see a few passes made. But the braking zone's actually uphill, so you can brake quite late and then get into the inside to the camber, and that's also another good passing opportunity for the guys up there. But you're running, you know, a lot of people don't understand how steep this place is until you walk it, because I hardly ever make it to the top every year. I'm puffed. I'm looking for a golf buggy to get into, but yeah, no, this is a very steep bit. And once again, the camber here, there's a lot of camber at Bathurst, so pretty much the camber, you use it, you know, use it to your advantage, get in there, make sure you use it tight. But it's pretty cool over here. The guys, like, for them to, on the controllers, drive around here, not hit the fence and end up so close, they're doing a pretty amazing job.
Yeah, and our onboard guy has been getting better and better all year. This is probably the best lap we've seen from him all season.
A little bit.
He missed McPhilling me by about 3 car lengths, but he's been improving all season. Down we go from the top of Skyline all the way back down to the bottom. The run through the dipper, which is here, the big left. The car drops away through the S's all the way back down towards Forest Elbow. At what point do you get the feeling like, oh man, I've done it, I've got away with one there?
You definitely don't. Here is still one of those ones, you run it right out against the wall, you're always so close, and then you get to about here and you go, I've made it. Like, I've only got to do that another so many times, but pretty much people, every time actually I talk to someone who's, you know, wondering about it, they go, oh, so doing about 300 down Conrod, is that scary? And I go, no, that's the easy part. You're thinking, oh, great, I made it. You take a few deep breaths, but it's over the top. It's really exciting and a little bit scary, but no, really good over the top. But there's a hard braking zone for them. This will be the passing opportunity down into here. And then also you want to get a good exit out of the chase for another passing opportunity down here, because Bathurst, it's a long track, but there's not that many passing opportunities, because over the hill you can pretty much bank them up. There's no passing opportunities over there. So you've really only got about three or four of the places where you can actually pass.
Yep, turn 1, turn 2, maybe at the elbow if you're brave, the chase, and turn 23, the last corner. That is Mount Panorama. It is just one of the most special circuits anywhere in the world. We're just so lucky to have it here in Australia. Opened all the way back in 1938, and we still have it today. So we're not too far away from going racing. And it was enough to put Holden 96 on the front row. So that's a huge result.
Yeah.
Ultimate Age will be starting on row 2. He's just about got that sewn up
I
over
love
Semper.
placements here, by the way. The two drivers that are irrelevant in standings.
That's a good point.
They're in first and second, but everyone else are literally head-to-head with each other.
What are the odds of that? They've all got their battle packs suited up right now. The two guys who don't care, they're off the front row. The fight for second on row 2. The fight for 4th is out of row 3. And the fight for 7th and 8th is out of 7th and 8th. So this has worked out brilliantly.
Oh, boy.
It would be surprising to see if they get any shoulders out the turn 1, you know?
Yes.
Try and get that bit of an advantage, because like we say, it's not easy to pass around here, so you'll really want to get a good start.
And let's not forget, Mad Racer, Chad, you said it at the start, he has not lost a third race.
Yep.
He has never finished below first on the final race of the night, so
it's not a bad stat.
Let's find out. Let's jump into Mount Panorama, the final race here at the Boost Mobile Supercars E-Series.
Such a short run to turn 1, isn't it? And it just works out brilliantly for him. Holden 96 on the grass. That'll cost him the whole way up Mountain Straight. He'll be getting jumped on here. And Mad Racer might just clear out. Ultimate Age needs to get to second and get to the bumper if he wants to have any hope here of finishing in the lead of this race. Capping off the last race with a race win. That was tight. Exy Mr. Bucket nearly clipped the back of Ultimate Age.
Haro 5 just takes him over as well.
And how about Haro 5? He'll be keen to finish the season on a high. It's not been a good second half of the championship. Oh, Mad Racer, I thought he got the fence then. at the cutting.
I think the biggest thing for this is they're all banking each other up. I think Mad Race is just going to run away with it, and we'll probably see wins all the third races of the season.
Complete that stat. Oh, got the fence on the inside. Easy to do.
That's a big thing in actual main VA2, because if you hit that fence on the inside, it shoots you into the outside, and we always see a big crash. So that's something that you can really easily do.
It's happened to some of the best. TDI Zul's ahead of Superman. That's important for his little battle pack, so that means that he'll be finishing 7th if they stay that way. Over the top we go for the first of 9 times to wrap up the inaugural series, and I think Ultimate Age has actually reeled in Mad Racer on the opening lap here. Jeez,
Tell you what, I said it before, Ultimate Age would get really sick of being behind him. I think it's just...
Big tag. Semper gets the back of Holden 96.
Just bump and run, bump and run.
Yeah, I think he pulled out of that move because he didn't want a penalty.
Oh, it's last race. Just get into it.
School's out.
Yeah, school's out.
Now, this
Take
is
the gloves off.
Big run here for Haro 5. But he hasn't quite got the track position or the space to make it move. Through the chase we go, 300 clicks. And they jump on each other down under brakes. Semper again has another look. No contact that time, but Haro 5 will pick him up. Great move from Jacob Harvey. Through to 4th, Holden 96 hanging on to 3rd, and we go 3 wide. Semper pulls off, he says, I've had enough of this battle. He's out of there. That was an opportune time to pit, actually very good time to pit. That could be one of the winning moves of the race for Semper.
That's TDI Zul's going up the inside, where if he can get past XE Mr. Bucket, it saves him from...
What's going on here?
I think he copped the shot then in the rear.
We're noticing that it's the last race of the season, aren't we?
Poor Jacob Harvey.
Just into it.
Jacob Harvey got absolutely swiped then down there at turn 1. And I think it might have been Mr. Bucket too that got him. Those two fighting in the championship. So
the best thing is it's the 2 fights in the championship to just switch.
Yep, they're on here. True.
Superman and...
These guys fighting for 7th and 8th. The guys in the background fighting for 4th and 5th. Superman, can he pass TDI Zul's here and take 7th back in this championship? This is great.
Tail, yeah.
He's exactly where he wants to be right now, looking at the man he needs to pass.
I think Ultimate Age is actually all over the back of Mad Racer as well, so that's good to see as well.
That was the moment there, definitely contact. And that was enough to send XE Mr. Bucket to the back of the pack. Back to this battle pack. Who's quickest across the top? John O'Burrows looking quite clean across the top of the mountain. Adrian Yalpi putting the pressure on Mad Racer.
Ooh.
Mad Racer got the better of him the last time out at Bathurst, but they are exactly where they were at race 3 of the championship. This is how it was on lap 9 last time.
I think the bump and run's coming.
You reckon? Use the bumpers, says Will.
Yeah.
Well, Ultimate Age sitting in 2nd. This is not good news, though, for Semper. So you can see Semper before was venting some of his frustrations. Hopefully that is a bit of a race winner for him, but if Ultimate Age finishes anything above 8th, at this point you've got to be worried. And 2nd could just go over.
He's real close.
Opportunity now.
Has a crack down here. From a long way back, he can't quite make it stick. Man, Mad Racer 38 is just so good on the brakes. A potential for a pit stop.
The biggest thing with Mad Racer is he never seems to get phased at all. He just runs his own race. He seems to be able to hold him up quite well and really control the race from the start to the finish. So it'll be surprising to see where they pop back out.
So Ultimate Age pits now, knowing that he's got more pace than Mad Racer. You can almost guarantee Mad Racer will pit next lap. But where does Ultimate Age come out in comparison to Semper? Fighting for 2nd in the points, and Semper was the first guy to pit in this race.
I think they were 3 wide when he pitted as well, weren't they? So yeah, so it should be pretty close.
We're about to find out. Onto the front straight. We've got the limiter, and it might be enough to cost him.
I think he's quite easily got him here, actually. Yeah, by a lot.
Yep, and he may even fall back behind Superman.
Ooh.
Oh, that'll be tight. He's got the speed. But if Superman can hang to the back of him here, that could be really good news for him. So Superman going for the undercut on TDI Zul's.
Yeah, definitely. And as we saw before, Superman can follow. So if he can sit in behind here, he may be able to do something.
Needs to be really good on this next lap. So will Mad Racer 38 cover Ultimate Age 05? Will TDI Zul's cover the early pit stop from Superman? Haro 5 now 4th in this race, tucked in behind TDI Zul's, but has a little bit of clean air there. He's got ahead of him now. Oh, got the inside wall at the dip up. Cost him just a couple of car lengths, maybe.
Wasn't this messy when we started out in race 3, Chad?
No, it wasn't.
I think the final race is going everyone's head.
The aggression's gone up a notch.
Yeah.
They don't have to see him or race him again for a while. Just,
knock him down.
Down Conrod straight. Haro 5 tucked in behind TDI Zul. A good chance to pit this lap if he can't get the job done down at the chase.
It'll be to see if Mad Racer pits now, cover him off.
Yeah, I think he will here. If Japan was anything to go by.
Yep, and he has. So this will be the biggest thing to see where Ultimate Age 05 comes out, because obviously the run up the hill, he might have a bit of a run on him. And if he could get past, that'd be really good to see.
If his outlap was good. Here he is, through the chase. This is the battle you want to see. They have been the 2 quickest drivers all season long. No doubt about that. Ultimate Age looking to finish the season on a high and get one back on his old buddy Mad Racer after finishing second to him here at the mountain last time out.
And this would secure his second position as well, a first or a second throughout this race. And he could be following behind Mad Racer, but now we look at the challenge.
This is going to be tight.
Very
this will be close. You can see him on the inside.
I think he'll actually have him here.
Oh, Mad Racer's out.
Oh.
And it's only just.
Not quite.
He's got the momentum, though. Can Matty Bink cover? He decides to stick to the right-hand side. Here comes Adrian Yelp. He's got the speed, but he'll have to go the long way.
You do the dive back to the inside now.
Will he go the double fake? He's not close enough. How tight is that? Mad Racer 38 covers him in the pit stops. And it's as you were, gentlemen. Back to the fight for the lead.
What a way to finish.
Oh, I think there's the passing opportunity.
Oh, to be brave at the cutting. And he's really pouring the pressure on now. He has spent all 6 weeks looking at that bumper.
And he seems very good. Like, Mad Racer seems not rattled on this first outlap, but, he's really close. So you got to be covering, you got to be looking in the mirrors, and I think that'll be the biggest thing for Ultimate Age 05, if he can just really make him make a bit of a mistake.
He just seems faster, but just can't get ahead of him. Oh, that's close.
Gonna dink him as well.
Just rubbed him going across the top of Skyline. I think he's quicker across the top, but there's just nothing you can do about it.
No. Biggest thing is he wants to get a good exit out of down here. That's where he wants to really make sure he...
Oh, meanwhile, here goes Harvey to the outside. This will be brave.
Oh.
Gerardo burrows later on the brakes and hangs on to the spot down there at the chase. And this could be enough for Harvey to pit here. He's losing too much time, so decides to make that stop. Meanwhile, further back, and the fight...
He's got to have a crack here.
...for the effective lead is on, but geez, just so good under brakes. Whoa, sort of moved over a little bit under brakes, but no harm, no foul. A little bit sideways coming out of turn 22, but still under pressure from Ultimate Age.
Mad Racer doesn't want to drop the third race. He hasn't so far, and why would he now? It's not an effective lead, but it'll do coming towards the next lap.
You know where his advantage is, Will? Corner exits. Mad Racer 38, so good at getting out of corners.
Yeah, he definitely does, doesn't he? And that's the biggest thing for Ultimate Age 05. If he's just rushing that apex a little bit, he won't get the exit. And the thing about getting the exit is it's the next corner where you want to pass. You plan a pass 3 or 4 corners laps before. So you really want to plan that and work on a good exit out of Forest Elbow and get down into Conrod.
Locked a tie there as well for a moment at turn 2. Ultimate Age. The frustrating part is he is quicker in the parts where he can't pass.
Definitely. I think we've seen that the last couple of races.
Yeah.
He seems to be able to... Oh.
Look at this again, but it's all going to be for naught here. He just can't go around the outside at Reed Park, so he has to fall back in behind Matty Bink. And he'll be looking at him again across the top of Mount Panorama. Good fight, this one.
So tedious for him.
Just has to be patient.
The biggest thing about over here is just staying on the rear bumper, getting a good run down through here for pretty much getting a good run down Conrod, because that's going to be his passing opportunity each time. And really, I think it's just he's got to have a crack. It's all season. They're, Mad Racer's not in the championship now, so if something goes wrong, at least he's got the championship all done up. So I'd be having a big crack.
Yeah, really shallow sort of apex through the middle of that corner for Ultimate Age. He's got something of a run. But again, not quite close enough to be able to make a move stick down the bottom of the hill. Holden 96 is the race leader, just ahead of TDI Zulz, and he goes around for one more lap. TDI Zulz decides to come in. So a good chance to sneak in our final ad break of season 2018. What a year it's been so far. This last race, certainly not over yet.
Boost Mobile.
Hands down, the best prepaid in Oz.
Get up to 75 gigs with Boost Mobile. Includes 23 gigs bonus data on your first 5 recharges.
Boost Mobile.
Game like the pros, now at Harvey Norman, your home of the great gaming deals. We have the best brands at the best prices, like Predator, Republic of Gamers, Omen, MSI. Hurry in for Predator desktops from only $26.98, Predator laptops from only $24.96, ROG laptops from only $22.96, and MSI laptops from only $18.97. Game like the pros, now at Harvey Norman, in store and online.
Go! Boost Mobile.
Hands down, the best telco in Australia.
Find out why Boost Mobile is CanStar Blues 2018 winner of the best prepaid in Oz at boost.com.au.
Get more. Boost Mobile.
Boost Mobile.
He was the first driver ever to win 100 races.
What a superstar!
He's a 3-time Australian champion.
What an unbelievable record for the kid.
Holden fans loved him.
Triple Eight heads him home.
Then Ford fans loved him.
Does the business for Ford.
And now everybody loves him. Who is this bloke? He sounds awesome.
Be there for Lounsey's last lap and the Supercars Championship finale, November 23 to 25. The Coates Hire Newcastle 500. Book now at Ticketek and get your heart racing.
Final laps of the final race. First year for the Boost Mobile Supercars E-Series Mad Racer 38. The champion to be closing this one out in style. He's just managed to open up a tiny lead here. Will Brown joining us for the final round. He was here for round 2. He's enjoying the action again here for the final round.
Yeah, it's nearly hard to commentate. I actually enjoy just watching it. You don't feel like saying anything. You're sort of on the edge of the seat. But no, Mad Race has been able to just get away from Ultimate Age 05, which is a little bit disappointing. Ultimate was driving really well there. But we'll see if that closes down the last 3 laps. But I guess it's the battles for 7th and 8th and I think 4th and 5th that we're looking at right now.
Yeah, and the battle for 4th and 5th at the moment is advantage Haro 5, although we're waiting to see where Mr. Bucket's going to pop out when he has his pit stop. But Haro 5 had him covered before the pit stop window at least. Dying stages, 3 to go. Mad Racer 38 looking good. He's just managed to open up something of a gap. Here is Haro 5. And a really good performance, this one from TDI Zulz.
Biggest thing for TDI Zulz here, if Haro 5 gets onto the back of him and can get a move made, brings him closer back to...
Superman,
brings him
who's
close
behind
back
him.
to Superman, which is the championship for 7th and 8th.
Yep.
Yes. As it stands, he's okay there. If he just finishes ahead of Superman, he will finish 7th in the points. He came in the championship last today, but he's managed to switch that scenario around.
Which is TDI Zulz or Superman ahead in the championship?
It's
right
TDI Zulz.
TDI Zulz by 2 points.
Okay, so if Superman was actually to beat him, they'd tie, wouldn't they?
Yes.
Yes.
And then I don't know what happens in that scenario. Here we go, Haro 5 at the cutting. That's a really nice move. He's not got it complete just yet, though. Burrows fights back. They go door to door.
Ooh.
This is crazy stuff. And Haro 5 holds on going through Reed Park. Is that enough for Superman to catch them? Is he too far back?
Maybe not. Couple of laps left. Still an opportunity. Well, hang on. Just saw where Superman is.
Yeah, he might just be too far back to do anything about that. But that battle might be enough for Mr. Bucket, who's currently sitting 2nd and yet to pit. So we don't know where he's going to come out in this scenario yet, but it might just be ahead of Haro 5. Let's check this out once more. It's a brave spot to try and get a move done, Will.
Yeah, definitely. That's a hard spot. Like, you do see it happen, but it's very hard. But up here, they just rubbed and it let Haro 5 get through.
Sideways for a moment. Burrows gets out of the gas and lets him go on through. And at the moment, he's sitting 7th in the race, 7th in the championship, but we are still waiting on Holden 96 and Mr. Bucket to make their pit stops and see where they're going to come out in this battle pack.
It's very much like Supercars, isn't it? You see everyone very consistent. Like, you see Mad Racer up there, Scotty McLaughlin and all that. You see very consistent throughout it. So it's great to see TDI Zulz always finishing around 7th and that. So hopefully next year, it's really close, and I'm sure they'll all be putting in laps over the off-season.
Yeah.
Yes, looking forward to 2019. Keep an eye out for the latest there on the Supercars website, also Supercars Facebook page. It's been really cool broadcasting on Twitch tonight. We've got a lot of viewers on Twitch, so hope you guys are enjoying the show.
A lot of people asking how they can get into this, but it was very selective this time around. All you had to do was put a qualification lap on Bathurst, as you see here, and our top 32, I think, we nailed them down to after about 5,000 people who put down those qualifying laps. We then nailed those down on a qualification night to our top 8. And the top 8 you see here raced over the period of 6 weeks. And into our very last race number 18 here, finishing where we began on Mount Panorama.
We've also had the E-Cup Series.
I was just about to bring that up. Well, the Cup Series has been going on as well. And that happened Monday night. So last night, a big change up there being that it happened before the actual E-Series Championship. And GJ Newton picked up a clean sweep of all 3 races, which are the same 3 tracks that we're racing on tonight. As Mad Racer 38 just dropped the right rear tyre off there going through McPhillamy. It's about as much of a mistake as we've seen from him all season. Not a big one, but it was enough for Adrian Yalpi to just close up 1 or 2 car lengths. Geez, trying all the way to the fence going through the S's. Here's your race leader. Matt Collings won the last race at Monza.
He'll actually have to pit now.
Yep.
Yes, true.
You know, next lap round will be the last lap, so he'll pit now, and we'll see where they come out.
So remember, the battle between Mr. Bucket and Haro 5 important for the championship. There's about 24 seconds separating them at the moment on track. As in comes your race leader for the final pit stops of the year. Meanwhile, the battle for the effective lead is on down here, and Ultimate Age has reeled in Mad Racer 38. So we're going to get a grandstand finish here.
I'd like to be on his radio. I really wish he just had a big crack.
Come on, mate. Throw it down the inside.
You know, last race of the season. Win it or bin it.
So where do these two in pit lane pop out in comparison to this little battle pack on track right now?
You have to think that Mad Race is feeling pretty confident. I think they're still in the pit lane.
Oh, that's what we're talking about.
He tags him. Look at it. He pulls out of the move. He didn't want to make it. He didn't want to pass him like that with a bump and run, so he pulled out of it. And the gloves are officially off for the last lap.
Last lap, yeah.
He's made his intentions known.
The only thing I'm disappointed about is that he lifted.
Should have had him, but decided that's not how we wanted to do it. Boost Mobile replay.
Good sportsmanship.
Yeah, it was a fair old tag.
Yes, definitely was.
Just drifted around the corner, no
it was a
dramas.
good save too, actually.
Definitely.
Yeah. Because if they had both ended up in the sand,
he's probably on the lock stops on the remote.
Holding all the way across to the right. Last time up the mountain, last lap of the series. Ultimate Age 05 has one chance to get this done, and it will surely be at the chase. Can he get close enough? There's also the fight for third at the moment. Semper sits P3. Mr. Bucket's come out behind Haro 5, so that sorts that championship battle out. TDI Zul's ahead of Superman, so it's all about winning the last race of the year.
It's going to be close as a finish for Mad Racer.
That's the biggest thing for this weekend, like for this race about Mad Racer, is you always want to go out on a high, especially when you've won, the championship a few, the week earlier. If you then come here and finish 5th or so, you don't feel as good. So for him to then come and win here, he'll be really excited.
But it'll also be good for Adrian Yalpi.
Again, just so good at corner Xing, isn't he?
Yeah.
Mad Racer, he's tucked into the slipstream. Come on, Wills, you're going to send it down at the chase. Have a crack.
I think you just have to.
There's nothing left to lose. Will he have an almighty go at the chase? Last passing opportunity of the race and of the championship.
Yeah.
But man, he's just so good under brakes, Matt Bink. No mistake there. One last chance potentially at the last corner, but he's not quite close enough.
I think you'll see Mad Racer take this one again.
He's trying to show him the mirrors just to put him off a little bit. But he is going to do this in style.
Yet another race.
Your champion for 2018, and he does it with a win. Mad Racer 38. Matt Bink is the champion for 2018. What a way to do it, winning at Mount Panorama. All the way to the finish line. Ultimate Age pushed him all the way to the finish, guys. It was a good race. Almost identical to what happened in race 3 of the championship earlier this year.
It felt like the same race from race number 3. It just felt like we were back at Bathurst where we belong. And for Ultimate Age, that's a great way to finish for him as well. Finishing second means that he finishes second on the ladder. Due to that, and Semper finishing so far behind, that's all the lead that he needs. So congratulations to Ultimate Age,
So the way they finished the last race of the year is how they'll finish the championship first, second, third. Identical to the podium at the at race 3 of the championship as well. Mad Racer, Ultimate Age, and Semper. He is just impervious to pressure. It's amazing. He doesn't feel it.
And the biggest thing for Ultimate Age 05, I think he really brought the consistency towards the end of the series. I think if you started again, it'd really, to Matty Bink, he'd really, bring the title to the end of their season. But I think it was just, later on in the season, he's really just got a lot more consistent.
Yeah, and he can lead a race, hey? Like, he is not afraid to lead it. And the amount of times that he was having a crack at him under brakes.
Definitely.
Just focused on hitting his marks every time and managed to make it stick.
Yeah, no, he did an awesome job. Like I said, he'd be sick of looking at the back of that Boost Mobile car.
Yeah. All right, so that is the final race of the year, and it wraps up like this. Ultimate Age picking up another quick lap time with a 2:07.1. Haro 5 into the 2:06s. Geez, he's quick, but couldn't quite get the track position. And it's Mad Racer, just a shadow under 20 minutes, picking up the final race win of the year. TDI Zulz ahead of Superman. Haro 5 ahead of XE Mr. Bucket. It's almost pretty much how they finished in the championship if you put Holden 96 down to 6th.
It really is.
That is the championship right there, the final race of the year.
Yeah.
only a couple of positions, you're right. So Haro 5 takes out the challenge onto Mr. Bucket, and good old TDI Zulz doesn't finish 8th. That was kind of the hero story. We wanted to side with Superman in the second race, but
he fought for it.
He did. Definitely did.
Poor Superman. He had such a good run last time out at Monza. It looked like he might just get away with it.
I thought he would.
But didn't quite work out for him. Haro 5, the big surprise there, he was our #1 qualifier coming into this season with Ultimate Age. We thought that these would be the two guys to watch. Ultimate Age lived up to that hype, but Haro 5, he's been such a good sport about it all year as well, and he is one of the guys who organises these championships, so I think he's had a pretty good run as well.
And he's so keen on it as well. He's been around for probably the longest time, or probably the most well-known racer out of any of these 8 drivers. But for Haro 5, a couple of the mid-tracks, a couple of the tracks when we went to the American leg, when we went to the European leg, struggled a little bit more than other drivers and got caught out a bit as well. So I think it was just time and a place for him, and maybe come back stronger next year.
All right, well, let's have a chat to our champion, shall we? Matty, can you hear us there?
Yep, I can hear you.
Good to speak to you, my friend. You have been unbelievable all year. We've got Will Brown in the studio. Will, he was just so impressive under pressure tonight.
Oh, definitely. Didn't crack under pressure. Didn't really make any mistakes at all. It was really good to see. You did a really good job.
I got a pole position. I'm thrilled.
That's all you wanted to celebrate tonight.
That's true, yeah. Nobody really wins from pole position, so you've done something.
Wins the championship, wins 2 of the races tonight and goes, yes, I got pole. That's the one thing we forgot about. You hadn't qualified higher than 5th. What was the difference tonight, mate, in qualifying?
I have no idea. I think everybody just let me do it out of sympathy. I wasn't in the championship medal for them, so I don't know.
I think you're being kind. You're the only guy in the 2:07s at Suzuka tonight in qualifying, so you were clearly very quick. Hey, what a great fight you've had between you and Ultimate Age all season long.
Oh, Adrian's great to constant hard battles. It's always clean and fair. Like you saw at the end of the Bathurst race, there was a little bit of a bump into turn 1, but he's fair about it, so he let me keep going in front and stayed on the back of me and just looking for a move everywhere. It's awesome to have a battle with such a quality racer.
Yeah, he did a really good job. I was probably waiting for the bit of a bump or run or a bit of a big dive, but obviously you guys raced together pretty fairly, and no, he did a really good job, and obviously let you back past when he hit you into turn 1.
Yeah, he's always very fair. We both know our strengths and weaknesses on tracks, so he would have been looking for any option that he had. I think about 2 laps to go, I hit the wall at the top, but it was getting a bit tight.
And I also hear that you're coming to the gala.
The gala?
Yeah.
That's news for me.
Oh, okay. Jeez, I might have let something go here.
So this might just be a little bit of an advantage of winning the championship, mate.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
Breaking news here.
Oh, that's cool. When's that? Where's that?
We might just act like that never happened.
Yeah.
I was just telling you to bring your dancing shoes.
Yeah, it's Monday night if you're free, so but you may have to get yourself to Sydney for it. That's the only problem.
Well, I confirm that with you, mate. Hey, I got a question for you, because last week you didn't know that you won the championship. This week, it's the news in the back of your head because you're just racing kind of to have a good time. What are you going to do with the rest of the season? What are you doing moving into 2019?
Oh, rest of the year, the focus is just having a good weekend at the XLs in December and enjoying the Newcastle race next weekend. It should be a good title fight there between the top dogs.
Also, if you want a signature, Will Brown's going to be there. Now, bring any article of clothing.
Particularly
Budgie Smugglers if you got a pair.
Yep. Actually wear them. It'll be better.
Will's going to be wearing those at the gala as well on Monday night. So well done, mate, on your championship. You are the champion for this season. You've absolutely earned it. You pick up a pretty impressive run of 10 race wins, 15 out of 18 podiums. You are clearly head and shoulders above the rest, mate. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Very, very strong. Go and celebrate, mate, and hopefully we'll see you there on Monday night. Pending, there's definitely asterisks next to that one at the moment, but we'll let Mad Racer get back to it. Congratulations, mate. Well done.
Cheers.
Oh, well, how about that, guys? Let's check out the championship points and see how it has wound up for season 2018. What was the margin in the end? Gee.
Oh, boy.
74 points. Just absolutely brained him. It was pretty much the entire point score of Superman separating first from second. That's just how big this championship fight was. And a league of his own, Mad Racer 38. Ultimate Age squares off second. Haro 5 squares off fourth. The only change in position tonight, down the bottom.
TDI Zulls. Okay. Well, at least he didn't finish 8th. I mean, because I say that because the whole season we were asking TDI Zulls to finish higher, and we're kind of riding him a little bit. And for Superman, you know, good effort there as well. So these guys still showing why they need to be, why they are the top 8 drivers, and kind of put up a bit of a fight all the way to the end.
Yeah, so that wraps up our inaugural Boost Mobile Supercars E-Series. It's been a lot of fun along the way. A big thanks to Hysterics. You have been my left-hand man, I suppose I could say.
Throughout the series, it's been a joy. I've learned so much. I knew absolutely nothing. I know esports, not cars, so you'll probably see me there at Newcastle with shades on and budgie smugglers.
And budgies on.
Yeah. And look, I mean, I know you're going to say thanks to Will Brown as well, but thanks for playing along and, you know, coming back and dealing with me, just ranting on you about the budgie smugglers is a good sport.
Yeah, I probably didn't know I was going to cop this much out of rocking a pair of budgie smugglers
on Instagram.
You
can't get away with that.
Even the odds, mate. I'll take a picture on Instagram for you. Won't be as graceful.
A big thanks to Will for his help throughout the season. Best of luck on the weekend, buddy.
Thanks, guys. Looking forward to it.
And to all our other guests that we had along throughout the year. A big thank you also to everyone who's watched, commented, shared, been a part of the series. Big thanks to the drivers and everyone who took part in the Cup Series. A special thank you to ESL, the studios that we're currently sitting in, for running such a successful campaign throughout the entire championship. And absolutely thank you to both our naming rights sponsor, Boost Mobile, and to Harvey Norman for the amazing cash and prizes that they've offered up for this season. It's been great keeping up for the news breaking on 2019. The E-Series moving forward from here can only get bigger. We'll see you next year. Keeping up for Newcastle. The championship is going to be amazing this weekend. Thanks for watching.